Or even a better solution, just...
It doesn't hurt them, but it certainly teaches them not to lick that place ever again.
Yeah. I have to open my pretzels.
You have to open your pretzels.
Pretzels? You have pretzels.
What was in that mug?
Actually, this time I forgot to buy beer. I forgot to buy lemonade. I forgot soda. So this time I have chocolate milk.
I have to ask, Absid, are you eating from Sepp's pretzels? Because it looks every time you take it out of the camera angle like from him and just eating his pretzel.
Reaching on in there.
What's that? You want to give me some of those pretzels?
Thanks.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Absid, but I might have cooked and prepared your wife or girlfriend earlier today.
Alright. You cooked his girlfriend?
Yes, we had sheep and cabbage today.
No, that's dark.
You're
That is
thinking
so dark.
further north or further south? We don't do that in Edinburgh.
He's not Welsh.
Not Welsh or Aberdeen.
Mm-hmm.
Abertonian.
Abertonian.
Where is Aberdeen?
Aberdeen. It's like further north of where I am.
Next to Norwegia.
Norwegia.
Norwegia. Oh, there's a cheese called that.
It's the country of the Norwegia. Norwegia, yeah.
The Norway.
Oh, we are live.
Yes, now we are live.
Told ya.
Sepp, show your
I should
pussy.
stop playing my pussy.
Now the stream doesn't know yet what you mean, but
Well, they know me, so that is explanation enough. In most cases. Did Sepp do something? Yeah. Well,
I would just
Sepp
do the
just
stream and
finally
I
got
would
the
know
operation.
what I know up to now. I wouldn't understand it correctly.
Given
I think I'm known on the internet as the...
Perfect.
I mean, I try to market myself as the online STD.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So that pretty much just set the standard right there.
So I'm guessing that today I will use my feet lucky.
Quite
Yeah.
well.
We'll see.
That depends. So you'll need to spend 1 lucky point for each dragon teeth or tooth that you're trying to dodge.
Yes. How many teeth do they have?
I don't know.
Oh,
I've
many.
never counted.
Well, I could tell you if I will survive it. We'll be able to count on my body like.
It's
1,
easier
2.
to count from the inside.
Well, she always was curious about how they are from the inside, so she will finally get to know.
Yeah.
Only have 3 of the good pills left.
Druggy.
Well, yeah. I mean, tomorrow is the stretch test.
Oh,
You need to give
that-
it 5 days to really calm down and start to heal. Then you have to start pulling on it to see which part is most broken.
Oh,
That sounds
that's
like
lovely.
a fun part.
It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be the best thing ever.
Yes, I can move somewhat up and down. Side to side is not no-go whatsoever.
What about doing the splits?
That I've never been able to do, so that's okay.
At least you know you didn't lose that ability.
Mm.
You need to look at the bright side.
Even with a bandage on, I'm getting a cold foot. I'm gonna go put on a sock. Yes,
Sure.
a sock. A single sock.
Singular
One.
sock.
The one that will unite all of them.
The one sock.
One sock to unite
So-
them all.
Let's start off
Yes.
where we left off last time.
Yes, I believe Absid was about to break into a room. Oh wait, it was me.
Yep. So, Colina, you're
Yes.
in the Nightstone Keep and standing out in the corridor.
Toes down to the
Yeah.
door.
You are standing in front of a fairly sturdy-looking wooden door leading into Crambo's private quarters.
I
Don't
believe
forget,
that.
you might be looking at the sexy Crambor's private quarters as well.
Yeah, he's still following me.
Well, I might. I'll let that one slide.
He loves me. Anyways, even though it will seem stupid, I will knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the door. Nothing happens. There is no response from inside.
I will use a mage hand and try to open the door.
Okay. You use your mage hand to open the door. It appears to be unlocked, and the door just smoothly opens towards the
clicks.
inside of the room.
No
clicks. Before you can see a fairly sizable bedroom with a very fine, large bed that has been made like perfectly.
To his size.
Yeah, you could take a ruler and just like line everything up. And
is there a small library next to it?
No, there is. The only thing aside from the bed in this room are a large mirror, a silver mirror beside the bed, and a small table upon which you can see is a cube.
What kind of cube? I mean, how does it look like?
It is gilded and red. It has these strange interlapping spherical patterns running across it that have been mangled in almost like puzzlish patterns.
I would like to try and not touch it yet, but first like check it out all around, try to decipher if I can decipher anything from it, like get to really understand what it is that I'm looking at. 1 second.
Yep.
I'm very good at my looking.
There are no obvious seams to the box, but you can tell that it is likely made out of wood.
Does it have any like specific pattern to it, or is it just random patterns that I can't associate to anything?
It looks like the patterns are semi-random right now, but it looks like if you like twisted some around, there might be a more
how heavy do I
pattern.
predict it is?
How heavy it is?
I mean, if according to that it is made of wood, how heavy would my character assume that it is?
I don't know, about a pound or so.
Okay. I will use my mage hand to lift it and just check all around.
Okay.
And I will try to like find if there's any seam that can be like twisted or anything. I look closely at it.
Yeah, you lift the wooden box and turn it around in the air in front of you and above you. You can't see any visible seams, but you can see that the patterns continue. The patterns don't continue from side to side, so they are each side has a different pattern.
Is there, by any chance, Actually, no. I will take out the letter that I accidentally clicked anyways earlier, and I will use my quill to try and copy the pattern.
Okay.
To kind of, and I will do like these 6 sides, every side like on a different place on my page.
Okay.
And before I do that, before I will start copying, I'll just look under the bed.
Under the bed?
Yes. I have this suspicion. Too good a bed. Something is underneath the bed.
You see underneath the bed is a very small box made of wood.
Perfect beds always contain something underneath them. I will use my mage hand to close the door.
Okay. The
And
door
then
closes.
I will kind of move my major image to stand right outside the door and look like me and seem bored, looking around.
Okay.
While I will just look below the bed and kind of pull with the mage hand the box
Okay.
to see what it is. I won't open it. I will just drag it to see.
The box is a music box. You can see that straight from the outside. It has a curved lid and it's like very small in size.
Is it by any chance very fancy?
The outside surface is very delicately made, but not fancy really. There's no real decoration to it.
Well, knowing Kulena, I will try to just start playing it a bit just to see how it plays.
Okay, so you want to open it?
Yes. I mean, come on. You got my curiosity of the character, so she has to open it now.
Perfect. You open the box, and instantly you see a small elven figure on a pedestal rise up, and then start spinning around on a small pedestal.
Okay.
She
What kind of
she-
music is it playing?
She appears to be holding a harp, and the music itself is like harp-like as well. The box itself doesn't appear to do any more than that. There doesn't seem to be any room for a hidden compartment or anything like that. The pedestal is gilded, but otherwise it's just painted with a delicate touch. However, as the music plays, you can notice that the mirror in the room starts to shimmer.
Fancy. I will look at the mirror.
The image in the mirror clouds up until the entirety of the room that you saw before goes away. It's just a steady stream of like smoke or clouds going by.
I will try to just try to think of the circlet I know that is at Kothar's, just to see if something happens to the mirror.
Okay.
Just trying to guess it's a scrying one, but I mean,
Nothing happens.
all right. I will try to say Kothar gently to the mirror and see what happens then.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Okay. So it needs something more than that. Interesting. I will close the music box.
Okay. You close
And
the box.
Yeah.
The music stops.
And I'm guessing the mirror goes back to normal.
No.
Okay. So it will stay cloudy. I guess it's a cloudy day. I will just slide the, the box back to place.
Okay.
And then I will go, and before I actually try to figure out the mirror, I will actually copy the patterns on the cube on the page. Just copying it, and I will just write every side what side it was compared to the others, so I can kind of later check it out.
And see the whole picture.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how long it would take me, so if you want to switch for a moment to someone else.
Sure. Shump.
Yes.
You're standing at the doorway of Lady Isadora's room.
Ooh,
There,
yeah. Yes. Yes.
There is
Let's get on.
there is a silky nightgown crumpled on the floor in front of you, roughly midway between you and the bed itself.
He's thinking to himself that it's like,
Damn. I feel like I've been standing here for a week looking for that nightgown. I think I spaced out a bit. Go on.
You can also see that the curtain around the bed has been pulled shut, and behind it you can see Isadora sitting in bed.
exactly what do I see of the fair lady? Is she with the back towards me? Do I see the silhouette?
You can see the silhouette, basically. You can see the color of her skin and her red hair.
How is her head? Like tilted like this? With the back towards me?
She has her back towards you. Her head is facing straight on.
Excuse me, Bay. Is this to be considered as an invitation of sorts?
She, you can see her head turn, and she looks at you over her shoulder. She just says, "Close the door."
Are you sure? I mean, it's kind of warm in here, don't you think? The draft, it's also people for safety. As you wish, my lady.
And he will slowly creak the door. Just, it's not all the way closed, just a little gap.
Do you know Shump likes people peeking in?
It's more of a escape plan.
Sure.
Quick exit, if it's needed.
Escape!
He has never done this before, for real, like, with meaning.
Well, I mean, we don't know what happened and how it happened with Qualana.
Let's never talk about that ever.
So,
The baby's on the way, don't worry.
I thought we established it was an illusion.
Yeah, and also all the
An
babies would be
illusory baby.
illusions. Yes. So
Not
illusionary
the baby.
child support, I'm just saying.
Explains the gnomes.
Wait till I reach level 14 and then it will be a real baby.
so in bed, you can see Isadora turns around. So her side is now facing you. You can see
Oh,
the...
crap, is it partial frontal nudity?
Yep.
So,
It's like HBO nudity. You can see the boobs.
yeah. So, I got I got property now. Did you hear about that, Bay?
No? Did you really?
Yeah, I wanted it a card game for gentlemen. It's down south. We should go sometime.
A gentleman's club, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't know you frequented such places.
No, it was just for the properties. By the way, your properties are also showing. By the way, I can see part of your property.
Boral, close the door
Yeah.
and come here.
Are you sure? Hey.
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
He will kind of just nudge the door with his heel to close it.
Okay.
And then slink very slowly towards the bed, I guess.
Okay. You
What do you want to do, Bay? Be gentle.
If only there was a priest of Suna there to teach him something.
yeah, if only.
Rathan,
Yeah, it's
come
not
on.
like we have had a
Sneak
lot of
into
time.
it. Help him.
So
The only one who's actually come to speak to me about that has been Qualana.
mhm.
Not the guy who's been chasing after the Lady of Nightstone.
Purely coincidental.
Which is weird. I admit.
I mean, everyone has to learn in their own ways, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Isadora turns fully towards you, Chump, and then it shifts across the bed and opens the curtain.
Oh. Do you want me to bring you something, your nightgown? Or do you want me to stand guard? Come over there. This is the first time, babe.
She stands up off the bed and walks towards you.
I have strange physical emotions right now. My body is attacking me from the inside.
She lets out a little giggle and closes the distance, and then places both her hands on your chest.
Am I supposed to return the gesture? Is this like a dance? Is this your mating?
She laughs at you and shakes her head and goes, "I'm going to help you out of this." Then starts
Okay.
reaching out for the straps holding on your pieces of armor.
Thanks. It was getting heavy. Although I had some minor assistance from below.
The camera moves down behind Chump's back, and we see the you're wearing full plate armor, right? At this point,
No, splint.
splint armor. Okay. We can see the torso of that fall and clatter to this floor, followed quickly by the cockpiece. And then we switch over to Kothar and Rohirden.
Yeah.
As Marvin
Nice
gay,
switch.
Let's Get On starts playing in the background.
I just want to add one effect. You can hear the birds chirping right outside the window.
Well then. I'm sure nothing untoward is happening somewhere else in this castle.
Untoward?
You just feel this awkward sensation in your leg. You're not sure what it is.
I think that would be me that would get that, given my deity. Like,
Really. Rohirden.
It's like, someone's having sex around here.
It's a known smell.
Someone's worshipping Suna around here.
my Suna sense is tingling.
So, we're still on the roof, I'm guessing.
Yep. And your microphone is super crackly.
I have just turned my fan so it doesn't cause any issues.
There we go.
Okay.
Better?
Yeah, a bit quiet, but better.
I'm hesitant to touch it.
So,
So-
Shump,
Yep, that's
We're still on
better.
the roof
Yes, you two are still on the roof.
with a elderly man, formerly dragon.
With Crambo, yeah.
Yes. Well, now that Mordrain is aware of everything here, how does he suggest we move on? And what do we do from here? Cornets?
I believe from last session, Crambo told you that the coordinates are a wise option to go after if you can get all of them in one place at the same time. Although that could also play into Mordrain's hand in that regard.
What if we destroy them?
Yeah, that's a possible way to go about it.
I'm guessing that's no small undertaking.
Likely not. I would assume that they are wards in place to protect them from damage. However, sufficient damage should do. Melting them might work.
Like in, say, a dragon's breath?
If you had a fire-breathing dragon, yes.
Forgive my lack of general knowledge about dragons.
I do not believe a normal forge would do necessarily. A dwarven forge. There is the Arnrock. You have an airship. That would be a fine location to drop them.
What's that, Isildur? But since these are part of a trio, destroying just one of the coronets would be enough, wouldn't it?
It would rob the wearer from the full power of the crown, yes. However, each coronet by itself is also powerful.
Yes, but not nearly as powerful as all three combined.
This is true.
Plus, as I recall, having all three combined removes the downsides, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Well, I for one don't mind. Sure, he will have a powerful item in his keep, but he'll also have the downsides of it. What say you, Raritan? Destruction?
Destruction sounds like the best option.
Probably should mention that to Quelana, though.
Probably not. Given her tendency for hoarding magical objects, shall we say?
Well, she would probably try to pick it apart to try and understand it, but I mean that process would probably eventually destroy it too, but I'm not sure we have that kind of time. So how do we
that's very crackly now.
We have plenty of time. Come on, give me the coronet. I want to study it. Bring it.
I sit like this.
It's almost like we can hear Quelana's voice in our head.
So, how do we trick Quelana into having a small trip over in Volcano?
Science, study, research.
Some maybe?
Hot, steamy sex.
You can have a supposed ritual on the slopes of the volcano. That would work.
She has been asking quite a lot about my deity recently.
Mm-hmm. You can show her. Well, that is an option at least. And Mintar, as said, is suffering from a strange plague, and that is where we know that there was a crown, or coronet at least.
Yes. I have not heard from Mintar in at least a week or two. It is strange. Usually there are some traders that pass by.
Yes, almost like Shilmister.
Little strange that we retrieve that first crown and then Mintar goes silent, so to speak.
Yes,
Where
these
would
are
the,
strange times.
As we have one of the coronets from the old watchtower, and we know that that is the old stronghold/cabin, where would the other two coronets have been originally buried or placed?
I am not sure. Each of the three who took them had their own ways of handling the crowns. One of them simply left it alone, held it as more of a crown jewel of sorts, never wore it. It was on display. I believe that might be the one in Mintar, since it was passed down after him. The last one, I am not sure, has kind of just dropped off the landscape, so to say.
And where would the nearest dwarven forge be?
That's actually a good question. The closest dwarven forge would likely be somewhere past on, maybe?
I need to zoom out of it.
That is a proper dwarven forge.
Yeah. The Iron Rock is probably the best option.
It would be the nearest place to dump a coronet. It is constantly active, so I would assume that it can melt down a coronet, or at least make it impossible to retrieve.
Impossible is possible.
At the very least, very difficult to retrieve.
Yes.
Probably not worth the effort.
Oh,
Well, there are many old relics that have been thought impossible to retrieve or implausible to retrieve. Inconvenient to retrieve, yet some strange adventurers always come around.
yes, it's strange that.
Hmm.
Would you imagine that Mordrin has the power and ability to recover it from that?
I do not know what more drain is these days.
Did the old one?
From an active volcano? I am not sure. He was formidable, but not quite that formidable.
If we do make the attempt, that does mean that the coronet is out of our hands.
Yes. And it means that if you do need the combined power of the crown, then that will be impossible.
And it also... both the benefit and the drawback of removing us as a moving target if we have it in our possession.
Indeed.
Thoughts, Rohirthan?
Where's this volcano? So I know where I'm actually looking on the map.
Slightly southeast of us.
Ah, okay.
On the island.
My thoughts are mainly leaning towards checking out Mintar, seeing if we can't retrieve the crown from there.
So you think acquiring all 3 coronets would be ideal?
All 3 ideally, 2 at worst, if possible. And then dropping them in the Iron Rock.
But if you intend to destroy them as the end result, wouldn't it be better to ensure that the full power couldn't be brought to bear against us?
That's why all 3 preferably.
Yes, I'm not saying we wouldn't go after the other cornets after we dumped the first one in the volcano. But with one out of commission, the other two become less of a threat.
That is true. We take a trip to Iron Rock, double back to Mintar, and then use that one to try and define the location of the third.
Yeah. Sounds as good as an idea as any. And if all goes to hell, I'm sure we can set up a nice bar in Longrot Grove and hide it.
A bar? That doesn't sound like too bad of an idea.
Well, we need a cover.
You'll be a little out of the way,
I could
though.
be the bartender. Just bring me water. I will ferment it.
Brewmaster.
Have your old
Don't know
dwarven
how many the
pal
games
bring in.
would be.
Before we make a final verdict, though, we probably should confer with the other two. Democracy certainly is a nice thing in a group effort.
That will certainly help Shump in his learning to rule.
But I don't know where they are. I think Shump went at least to Lady Stora's room, but Alana said something about a library.
I mean, there's only one library I know of.
You can see steam going out from the window.
We hear strange noises from below.
And then you can hear
Accidentally
this
open the door.
squeaking noise as someone hits the window and kind of slides down his end.
About
Accidentally open the door. There's a Shump. I swear that's the first time that's ever happened.
I swear I was not prepared at all.
Well, library should be
Library.
the shortest route.
Sure, would be the library. Colana
Easiest to
did
search.
mention there is only one library that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something I'd want to check out as well anyways. So, yes, let's see if we find Quelana there.
Yes, my library is so interesting. I found so many things in the library.
Okay. You
Airship and High Significant Library. Not the library?
you start heading off the roof. Crambo follows a little while after you. Quelana,
Yes,
you are still in
let's break the
Crambo's room.
Okay, so did I finish copying the thing?
Yeah.
So I'll place it again where it was, exactly as it was, with my mage hand, and just use my mage hand to kind of wipe a bit the dust around it. Just because she likes to be clean. And then I will pocket the letter back into my bag, just so it won't be standing here and I will forget about it.
Okay.
And now I want to mess with this mirror. It seems
Sure.
so intriguing and so interesting. First of all, I would like to poke it.
Okay. You cross
And
the
with my
room.
hand.
You cross the room to the mirror. You can hear this strange creaking noise from somewhere down the hallway beyond the door. It sounds like something creaking and banging against a wall or something.
I will check it in a moment.
And,
There will be a very awkward situation in the moment, but
yeah.
first.
I would also like to remind the esteemed timekeeper that his current major image doesn't last that long.
Well, so it will go away. I mean, I just placed her just in case, but I mean, I couldn't leave the sexy one to stand there because that would actually trigger some wondering about people.
Since when has Quelana cared about that?
True.
So you walk
Fair
up to
enough.
the mirror's cloudy surface and poke it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to poke the actual mirror surface or the frame, or?
Oh, the actual mirror.
Okay, good. You poke the mirror surface, and your finger goes straight through.
Now, see, that's not what a mirror normally does. Now I have a question. So let's have some fun here, shall we? I have an idea, but I just need my character sheet for that.
Dispel.
Oh, I will take one of my bones that I have in my bag because, I love my bones.
Sure.
And I will just throw it beyond the thing and see if where it falls towards. I mean, what direction does it go?
Okay. You throw it in. You can see that it starts arcing down before it is overtaken by the cloud and mist.
I try to kind of... Is it a tilting mirror? I mean, can I tilt it?
No, it's just mounted straight up.
How heavy does it seem? Because I have bad strength, so...
Yeah. It doesn't seem very heavy. I think you would be able to move it, even with your poor strength.
I will just try to kind of lean it a bit and see if what I see in the mirror kind of changes. Lean it back.
You tilt it, and you can see that the clouds shift. But they don't like clear away or anything.
That we can deal with. 1 second. So that. That is water. So, I will do something awful, but I mean, come on, it's Kolena. So, how large is this mirror?
It's what
Let's ask
7
something
feet.
like this: would a fireball fit through?
A fireball, yeah. It's like it's basically the size of a shump.
Okay, I would cast a fireball towards the mirror while it's leaning. I mean, no, actually, I can't. But not while it's leaning. But I would aim it so the hit would be 22 feet away from where the mirror would be in the air, so it won't actually harm back into the portal or whatever this is.
So you just want
an explosion.
An explosion on the other side.
I love explosion.
Are you planning to clear away the mist and stuff with that?
That's the idea.
Okay.
Whether it will work, that's another question completely. I mean, it's water, so it should help, but I'm not sure if it won't just leave another cloud into it, but never mind.
Okay. You can cast your fireball in there. Roll a 1d100.
1d100. That's not the roll that I thought that I need to roll. Let's see how awful this goes.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, you time the detonation on your fireball pretty perfectly. You essentially carve a hole in the shroud on the other side of the mirror.
And quickly lean the mirror to look down.
You can see a large structure on the other side, shimmering with a blue and white light. It forms several pillars on either side that then arc over and form a roof.
Would it resemble the structure that we saw from the airship?
No.
The one that we kind of... Oh, there we go.
Looks like this.
Second, I need to move the page of mine. Because it's... Oh, that's lovely. I need to go there.
You can see your bone on the icy floor below.
So how high am I in the sky by max approximation when I look down?
Looking down,
I mean, when I'm looking using the mirror down. Because I see the bones, I'm
yeah.
just wondering.
When you tilt the mirror over and look down, then about 10 feet or so.
Okay. So many ideas. Is it on wheels, the mirror?
The mirror? No.
Can I drag it after me?
Yes.
Okay. This is coming with me. Well, I mean, I don't have time to check it all here, so I will go back to the.
Make a perception check.
Okay. I'm guessing he's back, and he will be liking me dragging his mirror away. I have a reason why I'm doing it. It's for science. I'm sure he's very reasonable and understanding of science. 1 second, it's my character sheet needs to load. I mean,
It's only science if you write shit down.
I am. I wrote what the cube was saying.
Yeah. Okay. As the cloud coverage in front of the mirror starts to close back in, you can see a small silvery white creature scurrying along one of these tall, massive pillars. And it appears to be climbing the icy surface up.
What form does it have? That whitish thing.
It looks a lot like the dragon you saw flying around outside earlier. Except that this is like the size of a dog.
What's with you and dragons? I mean, come on, she's trying to disbelieve dragons. She's doing an effort here.
As the dog-sized creature gets up to one of the platforms around halfway up to the ceiling, another one peeks out from above and swats at the one climbing up. And the two appear to start like swatting at each other while the other one is clinging onto the ice.
Is it near the bone that I threw?
No, this is like further away and up.
Okay, so could I like try to recognize it from a book or something, or is it like something I would never have even seen?
I mean, if you were one to believe what you see, then
I mean,
then
mythology.
Then someone who believes their eyes would consider these probably the baby dragons or smaller versions of dragons. But you know, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Could be just illusions.
Yeah, it could just be a race of winged lizards too.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to dispose of them. So the next order of business is to somehow get this mirror with me.
Sure. You start dragging it along the surface or the floor.
No, first I will open the door and check the hallway if anyone is in around. Anyone is there?
Okay.
In the hallway. You can kind of see me open the door and kind of. Hello?
You peek around. You can hear some footsteps towards the stairway leading up to the towards the roof, and you can hear this creaking and banging sound come from the opposite direction, where
Okay, so
where
Banana will kind of get curious about this, so she will kind of look behind her, look at the mirror, look at the creaking noise, and kind of walk out of the room, close the door carefully behind her, and then walk towards the room that is doing the noises. I mean, there might be an enemy here. Let's vanquish this enemy.
Okay. You start heading towards the end of the hall. You can already see from a distance that one of the doors is slightly ajar, and that appears to be where the noises are coming from.
Do I know this room? Do I know what is behind this room, rather?
I think you were around to see Shump like coming and going from it earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what's inside of it.
Yeah, you
Okay.
probably don't know who it belongs to.
Probably Kesh is tied up and there's a problem and I need to save him.
Yes. Kothar and Roherden, you come down the stairs into the hallway and see Quelena walking briskly towards the end of the hallway, where you can hear this faint clattering and creaking sound.
I'll look to Roherden and like thumbs up, thumbs down, and just like
My initial reaction would be to turn to Crambo and go, "Is that whose room I think that is?"
He joins you in the hallway and looks in the distance and then just nods.
No, we'll leave them to it.
I was more. You see who's about to discover this situation. I'm kind of curious what will happen.
Let's go see what happens.
Yes, from a tasteful distance.
Like, say, from about halfway down the hallway?
Mm.
Within earshot?
Mm.
We will sneak. You're muted.
You're still muted.
Arm.
Let's have some fun. Since Quelena is sure that, that Seb is in deep trouble in there, so she needs to
Shump.
save him. Shump, yes, sorry. So let's save him. How big are these doors?
Like the size of your regular apartment doors, just
Okay.
about. Maybe a little bigger.
So, all right, so I will use my. I will try to do an entrance and kind of very silently try to open the handle and just kick it inside. Hopefully it opens inside and not out, because then I will just kick the door.
Yeah.
Could I, like, my instincts, I guess, would deem a reaction of some sort. Maybe I have a dagger and, like, just taped to my shoulder, or...
Have a dagger taped to the shoulder? That's kind of dangerous.
I mean,
I
he
mean,
did...
your instinct would be to reach out for a weapon, but I think Isadora has pretty handily disarmed you.
So I don't have any hidden
You're,
weapons taped to my shoulder? Behind
No,
my...
you have to work with your current weapon.
Damn it.
You have one weapon hidden right now, but not in the way you think.
It's not
So
as
1d100 to see how much of a mess I made when I jumped off in the curve.
Phrasing?
No, you can roll a 1d20.
1d20.
about to be surprised by an unwanted visitor.
Okay.
Is that good or bad?
Now roll a 1d100.
By the way, that's the time that he takes until he thinks of what he wants to say. So he asks you to roll all kinds of dice. That one 1d4.
Do you need a con save as well?
So, Shump, you're on your back on Lady Isadora's bed.
I like it.
She is on top of you, and you can see her features glisten with a layer of sweat, and she's been handling you very with a very firm touch so far. Then suddenly you you catch something from the corner of your eye,
Then you can hear
and then you hear this massive smashing sound as the door comes clattering fully open.
It's like that little scene in the opening of Prison Architect when he captures the cheating couple, right? He's standing there, silhouette in the doorway, with a
Sure,
gun in his hand.
that's not necessarily the first place I'd go for that, but okay, sure. Like in the beginning of Prison Architect. And you can see Quilena standing at the doorway.
Just
So-
a horrible Droon, like Batman-style cartoon with a dress flapping in the wind. I can see it all in my head right now.
Solana, what are you doing here?
I thought you were
Get
in trouble.
out!
Are you sure you're okay?
I'm okay. Trust me, I'm okay. I'm good. Bay, am I doing okay?
Kulena will actually wait for the answer.
Standing there, doesn't even close the door or anything, just stands there.
No,
So-
she
Lack of respect.
So
Those are not takes notes.
Isadora's first reaction is to grab the
The property.
like blanket and cover herself,
Cover the properties.
and then turn to Kolana, and then back to Sham and go, and
I will just look at her kind of, well, are you okay?
I told you to close the door.
To be fair, I did. I did close the door, but she kind of just kicked it up again. I would say that that's not my doing.
So,
Right.
do you need privacy?
Well, duh.
All right, I can deal with that. Don't worry, and I close behind me the door and just stand there.
And next time someone is balls deep in a situation, knock.
No, I believe Kolena has just stepped inside the room.
I step inside
Oh,
and
really?
then close the door.
What the hell, Colena?
Don't worry, I'm not bothering you.
Can't you see that I'm kind of in something right here?
Me and
Speak-
Kofar go to the outside the door
I-
and listen.
I actually went to lessons at rehearsals and I actually learned about this. If you want some tips, I have some ideas.
You know, Isidora, I'm so sorry about this. This is not my intention. This was not meant to happen.
So, Isadora climbs off of you, Shump.
God damn it, Isidora. Have you ever heard of a penis block?
What?
Why are you saying that to Isadora?
I
Colena,
don't know. That's why I was wondering.
retract that. I'm sorry. I mean, Isidora, you're clearly on my mind right now. Colena, could you please just give us some privacy? I'm kind of trying to finish up something here.
Oh, so you want me to leave?
Well, that would be preferable, yeah.
All right.
You
I
can,
kinda-
yeah, Quilena, you can hear you can hear Isadora in the background, just like a whisper quietly. Again, as Sham says that he's trying to finish something.
When I will kind of look at, for a moment, think about taking out a quill and just writing it down, and then just nah, and opens the door and goes out, and kind of, I mean, I'm guessing that I see Kothar and Rehearsal just outside the door.
Roherden is like immediately behind the door, an ear almost the door.
I fall.
I would do prestidigitation and yell in his ear. Hello! And close the door
Oh,
behind
Kolana. Hi.
me. What are you two doing here?
Yeah, what are you two doing here?
We saw you moving into a room that we thought it was the little girl's room, and we were going to wait for you to finish, but
Yeah, I was going to make her a big
Apparently,
girl.
Shump doesn't need my saving, so
Ah,
So, Kothar, you've been in this situation before, right? Do you remember
Yes.
when I intruded on you?
hmm
Didn't I close
Well, I
the door
didn't. I
behind me?
didn't get that far. I didn't intrude.
Mhm.
Which is my entire point. You're intruding on me. And, of course, Lady Isadora.
Oh, I just happened to be outside the door here.
How did you just happen to be outside the door with your Herthan and Kalana?
We were following Qualana.
We were
Why is
looking for
Kalana
Kalana.
here?
I don't know.
Kalana.
You'll have to ask the Qualana why she's here.
Yeah, Kalana, why are you here?
I came to save you. You were in trouble.
My lady, do you have in your power the power to behead someone? On the town square, maybe on Sunday.
I would do a minor illusion of myself, and then the head kind of rolling off the.
She's even demonstrating it.
By the looks of things, she's been doing pretty well with head at the moment.
She has, but
So
someone came and stopped it.
at this point, Isadora is like curled up in a ball against the headrest, a blanket wrapped tightly around her body.
Did specify that I'm closing the door behind me. That is something
But you're
I
still
did.
in the room.
No, I left afterwards. I said that I was thinking about getting the quill and writing it down, and then I opened the door and saw like Reherthan just in my head, and just yelled at him and just closed the door behind me.
Even despite that, Isadora is like
Okay, no, I'm just
totally curled up. You can see her, Shump, you can see that her face is like beet red.
I'm so sorry, babe.
She has a
this is not
hand.
worthy of you.
She has a hand over her face, and she appears to be laughing.
Are you okay? Are you crying, or are you... You look a little red, and your breathing suggests that you're not crying.
I would like to just kind of very awkwardly, because she's very bad at social interaction, Quilena will come and kind of give this light tap onto Reherthan's shoulder and say, "Go help."
From
Let's
what I
not
could
do that,
hear, he
Mark.
doesn't need it.
Well, you explained to me about your god and that you can help people with that, so is it a crisis situation?
Did
I
it
wouldn't so
look
much
like
say-
a crisis?
I wouldn't so much say a crisis so much as someone interrupting them.
I never interrupt people. I was very polite about what I did.
If they want
You
to come
should
to
have been
me
beheaded.
after for her advice, then that's a different story. However, I'll leave them to it for now.
So, what were you up to after that illusion on the roof?
Oh, we were looking for you.
Could you take this outside?
Yeah.
Alright,
No, they are just out, and they're
We're
just
on the
outside
other
the
side
door.
of the door.
You can hear all of their voices like crystal clear through the door.
Okay, so I will still shout that.
You move down the hall. Further.
How rude.
Should I
We're not
shout
the one that's
on the
rude.
door?
I beg to differ.
Oh, arcane knock on the door? No. Never mind.
Maybe Shug should have learned that spell.
Well,
so
Qualana,
I
I
will.
do believe there was something in the library you wanted to show.
Yes, I found some very interesting items.
Lead the way.
It's that way.
Well, I mean, the library was interesting and all, but there were other things that I needed to check before I.
Yes, and we have checked on Shump. Now we can go.
What do you need, though?
To step away from this door.
I will start walking to the opposite side from the library, just going back to where the room of Crembo is. Just a bit, like 2 steps back, kind of.
Thanks,
And just look at
Kotar.
them and say, well, you're welcome to go if you don't need me for anything.
Well, if we can go to the library and have a civil discussion, there's something we need your input on. Whether the other things are being put in.
We'll inform Shump later.
You will kind of see Quilena kind of looking towards the door of Crumble, looking towards them, kind of thinking for a second.
Crambo's with us.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Crumbo
she's
is
awkward. She doesn't care.
Crumbo is standing at the far side of the corridor, like where the staircase landing is.
How did he
Oh, shit,
react
he
to
came in?
the thing?
He probably.
He just stood there. He's still just
Gentleman.
standing there.
Well, I mean, for him, it's just another species doing it, so it's not very interesting.
Yeah, it's like when dogs start humping.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
very interesting
oh,
for him.
Yay, puppies!
oh, the primitive species is horny.
So, anyways, I will say, well, all right, if it won't take too long.
Good. I'm sure that won't take too long either.
So I'll start leading the way towards the library, and kind of putting a kind of small flair into it, like jumping a bit and then keep going.
Ah, yes. Kualana.
Yes.
I was just thinking about eruptions. How do you feel about volcanoes?
I was actually thinking of going to one. I was thinking that we could explore the magical applications of fire in a volcano. Maybe we could make it erupt.
What a coincidence. That's excellent. Rohirden has a ritual of sorts for improving our morale and the upcoming problems. We were thinking of going to it.
Actually, since I never heard of that ritual, and I actually talked to him a lot, Quilena will just turn towards Rohirden and say, "What ritual will that be?"
It's a secret ritual. Special.
And you shared it with Kothar and not with me.
I didn't so much share as suggest there may be one.
I don't know the details of it. All I know is that there's a volcano nearby and he wants to go to it. Correct?
Yep.
And why do you so want to go to that volcano?
I'm a dwarf.
Yes. Though that doesn't explain the
Lava,
reason to go to a
forging,
volcano.
Fire. Maybe
I know why I want
forge.
to go to the volcano, and I want to roll insight if I can, because my character is kind of suspecting they are lying to her.
You sure?
I mean,
the
after
volcano
talking
is
with Rohirden for
a
a
essential
few
part
days-
of the ritual, apparently.
Yeah,
Yep.
but, I mean, she did speak with Rohirden for a few days, so she's kind of like... It doesn't sound like something I heard.
I'll just roll this just for the sake of it.
Mm.
You actually have advantage since Kothar is helping you.
Let's roll that again. Turn the advantage on.
Hope you roll poorly.
There we go.
That's 2 times.
Yes. Okay, so
the 2.
yeah, you actually rolled for them before
Worse.
with the first. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So the 6 and a 5, the deception rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Inside is 14. So yeah, there's something fishy about this.
I will kind of look at them, kind of saying, "Are you sure you don't want to maybe explain yourself? Maybe the real reason behind all of this? While I do enjoy the visit to a volcano,
I've decided to take up metal smithing, and I need lava for my dwarven forge.
I believe that a blacksmith can supply you with the heat that you need."
Oh no, lava's much better.
You clearly don't know much of dwarven armor working, metal working in general, I hear. They wouldn't dream to stoop to a regular blacksmith.
I look towards Rohirden and did you ever show any interest in metal? Not really.
Holds up hammer. No!
And his armor.
Armor, the glaive,
so he
the
didn't create
axe.
it. He got it.
Have you
Um,
seen the breaks and tears in the armor of... wasn't wearing it right now, Shump, but Shump's armor was quite badly injured. Imagine if you could repair it.
Well, I have mending.
Imagine if I could make it better.
Chainmail tends to take quite a while to mend if you're going to mend each individual ring.
Splint.
Splint mail.
She does know that.
I did see his armor.
Does she know the difference between armor types?
Probably not. But that doesn't change.
Also, it doesn't really matter because splint mail is scale mail and chainmail overlapping to provide protection.
Anyways, I won't be using that anyways because she doesn't know the difference between the armors.
Yes, protect.
I don't understand how you can learn metalworking by going to a volcano unless you have a teacher there.
I need materials from the volcano.
And how do you plan on taking lava from the volcano?
Mage hand.
I will...
With a bucket.
Yes,
obviously.
a bucket.
Yes,
A wooden bucket.
I can see a problem with your plans.
We're going
quite
to the
few.
volcano. We're just going to a volcano. That's all there is to it.
Well, unless you have something more of interest to me, I believe that this conversation was about to be ending.
Yes, the only reason why we came was just to, we can't make this decision all on our own.
What my decision is
Jesus.
exactly in this regards. I mean, you're just telling me that you want to go to a volcano to
Yes,
get a bucket.
2 of us wish to go to a volcano.
That sounds awfully a lot of people to get to a volcano and gather some lava.
Well, no, but we need consensus for the airship. Unless you're fine with us taking the airship and going on our own.
Whilst you and Chump finish whatever business you have here. I emphasize Chump loud enough that he can hear.
I will kind of look towards the
Hell no.
the door of the room and kind of look towards you and, well, I guess since you don't need me for anything.
Oh, did you find anything of interest in the library, perhaps?
Not in the library, but I found some interesting items laying around.
Oh,
Can I-
laying around.
Can I roll insight to see if I notice him looking at the door?
I kind
Every-
of did say it out loud that I'm looking and it's noticeable. I didn't hide it. So you did see me. If you didn't, then you just were looking at the other side of the room.
I was a little more distracted, making sure that Chump was doing his job correctly. Audibly.
I'm just wondering how you did that, but never mind.
Audibly. Like,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
There's currently no sound coming from the Lady Isadora's room.
Do you want to
Probably
Raj
just
to say
whispers.
hello?
Oops, that wasn't supposed to be on. Probably just whispers. Like, sorry, I'm so sorry.
she's still pissing herself laughing, probably.
So, anything else we need to do?
No,
Quilena,
so if you just found these lying around, I'm sure no one will mind that you're tampering with property that just, was lying around.
well, I'm sure they don't. I mean, the problem will probably move itself.
Well, we were going to get feedback from Champ, but I guess we'll have to wait a bit for that.
They kind of stopped, so you can go and ask.
There's a big difference between stopping and pausing.
I look at him very curious.
I will.
Isn't that right, Champ?
He is correct, Kalena.
I'm gonna walk
We're
back
only
to the
pausing.
door. I'm gonna
Alright.
walk back to Isadora's door, knock on the door, and yell through, Shump, we're taking the airship for a couple of days. You'll be fine here, right?
Isadora, will I be fine here?
Isadora is unable to speak. She's still with her hand over her face, like breath catching in her throat, that she just laughs silently.
Could you give me a 5 minutes, maybe, just to see if I have to defend my bay or something?
We'll meet you by the airship.
All right.
Yeah, you got like 20 minutes. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, like three times, okay.
You won't need to put your armor on.
Then 4.
Just clothing, preferably.
Yeah, they'll head back to.
See you there.
I would
Oh,
wait
and
until
I hope you have protection.
What do you mean? I have a knife.
I mean, in those days, I'm not sure that actually there was any protection.
Pigskin.
Cotton
Please,
socks,
thanks.
sheep's intestine.
Yeah.
The Welsh didn't even bother to remove it beforehand.
Quilena
putting
will
it straight
kind of
away.
Quilena will kind of lean against the wall and wait for them to kind of go away from view. Also with Krembo, kind of wait for the problem to go away, as I said.
So
She's
all
been
of you
truthful.
start hearing bells.
Oh,
Well,
they're
I guess-
getting married already.
Or it was the first go to gate.
This is the bells from the temple in town. They are ringing at a fairly high pace.
Kota will immediately start heading towards Crambo and like point towards him and upstairs.
I'll follow along.
Crambo turns, heads up to the roof.
You can see Quilena kind of being teared apart by this decision, looking at the room, looking at listening to the bells, thinking for a moment, and then just shrugging and just going like, I will go up these stairs to see what's happening.
These are not the deflowering bells, right?
Maybe they are.
No, those would
They
have.
have a scrying eye just in the room to know when it happens.
There's a
Those
big
bells
mirror.
would have. Those bells would have rung a while ago. So.
There's a baby on the way.
There's literally a giant mirror in the town square.
a
What,
big view
everyone needs
screen.
to know?
A big view screen. I mean, she isn't the queen. She isn't royalty.
Oh, 6 changing hands.
Royalty would be royalty would be more likely to have like view screens. Make sure everyone knows something's happening. So you go up to the roof with Crambo. Jump, are you peering out the window, or are you still concentrating on Isadora?
I'm peering out the window while I'm hoping that she will gather herself for the last few minutes we have together before I have to run and defend her honor.
Okay, she is coming back around, mostly thanks to the bells alarming her. Not so much anything else going on. You certainly aren't helping things by profusely apologizing and so on. But all of you can see the road coming up from the south, from the direction of Mintar. There is a column of people walking towards Nightstone. There are already a small group of soldiers at the gates of Nightstone. The drawbridge is up and the bells are ringing frantically.
I would like to take out the telescope, which I keep on my personal time now, it seems, and look at the column of people walking up the road.
Okay. You can see that there are a few soldiers here and there. They are wearing blue cloaks and the emblem of Mintar. But the majority of people are townspeople, it seems. Just commoners. They are
Civilian.
wearing regular clothing that's slightly ragged. Most of them are human. Some are elves, some are dwarves. There is livestock with them.
How far walking distance is Mintar? If someone would start walking, how long would it take it?
Mintar is a couple of days walk, I think. It's 85 miles.
And
yeah.
the first time we heard of the problems was that they stopped communicating. They said
A
it was
couple of
like a
weeks.
week ago.
A week.
Couple of weeks ago.
A week or two.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was just over 2 weeks that we did the ping. It was just a few. No, actually, it was a day. 3 weeks ago, because it was a week going to Thornwood and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I
to
would-
the Ignificant and you'll miss that and everything.
So I would just say, interesting timing they have to arrive from a village so close by. If trouble started 2 weeks ago, where were they for 2 weeks?
Let's
Those
head
could
to
be
the gate
refugees.
first.
I'd rather we don't be too close to them. I have a suspicion this is a trap.
I'm still going to the gates.
It's your life. I'll take my shield and just hover and get closer to just be. I will keep being around 150 feet away, either in height or in distance. So an arrow won't fly too close to me if there's an arrow flying.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, we're far up the fortress on the hill.
Yeah, but you're going to the gate, so.
Can I see this? From
And
the
I
back?
would like
You
to-
can see the people gathering.
Okay, so I just run to the bed, give her a kiss on the forehead, put on my armor, and just start running down for the. Yeah, start running down,
Okay.
Pulling the armor on as you run.
basically.
Strapping everything on.
And forgetting his underwear.
Does he wear underwear?
Armor chafe is a bitch.
Yeah, he'd probably have ointments because he likes to go commando.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing the dwarf with the alcohol is kind of his best friend by now. Anyways, I would like to, while they are trying to get there, and since I'm already flying towards it, I would like to kind of look at if anything looks out of the ordinary. For example, if the soldiers act, suspiciously, or if the people seem to be in too good shape to be peasants.
Not really. All of them look like they've run themselves ragged. They all appear exhausted. Even more so than you would imagine from just a couple of days' march up from Mintar.
Are the soldiers in the guards in the back, or are they in the front of the group?
They are flanking on either side, essentially. So on either side of the road, essentially keeping the people together, making sure that there's nobody coming in from the sides to attack them, that sort of stuff. Very regular.
Typical
column.
Vanguard.
Defensive call.
Very typical.
Oh.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Are there guards from Nightstone gathering, or?
Yes, there are guards from Nightstone. They are gathering at the gatehouse for the keep, and then at the square in the middle of town.
You said is the gate at the entrance to the village closed?
Yeah, and the drawbridge is up. So
I
far, at
will.
least.
I will. Is there a place on the gatehouse that I can land? Stand on it?
Yeah.
So I will just land there and look and kind of, if I can, if there's anyone close enough that I can talk to, even by yelling, I would do that. 1 second, sorry.
So the rest of you are running down, right?
I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. So
The devil has arrived.
yeah.
oh no.
So as you're running by, and you as well, Quelana, and upon flying overhead,
Is
you can
Crambo
see.
following?
Yes, but he's lagging behind.
Old man.
Yeah, you can all notice that the friendly neighborhood dwarf selling that liquor, he's gone. His
When trouble begins, he leaves? Come
His-
on!
his cart is nowhere to be seen. There are a couple of the empty carts that presumably came up from Thornwood, though, that have been parked essentially where his cart used to be.
Maybe
It's
he got
almost
dragged
like
away.
he was a traveling trader.
Almost. Didn't stick around for 3 weeks. So, Colina, you're standing atop the gatehouse. The drawbridge beneath you is
I would
held
use
up by large
prestidigitation
chains.
to. I would use prestidigitation to empower my voice,
Mhm.
and then
There are
Say-
people on the bank of the river. Just
are
past.
they human?
Yes. They
So I
are
would-
human guards, each of them.
Yeah, I would just use the prestidigitation to empower my voice and just ask who goes there. Even though I kind of can see, but I would just like to see the response.
And
No.
Kothar would also end up somewhere on the gatehouse there.
Kothar, you scramble up just in time to see one from the group of guards stepping up in front of the others and then removes the helmet. And you can see that this is Harren, your original employer. He,
Oh.
I would still look to Kolana, and after her little question, maybe we should let the actual representative of Nightstone talk to them.
Nonsense. What do they know? I mean, they let a flying ship enter their city without knowing who it is.
It is still their town.
while you're debating the proper response to refugees at your doors, Harren calls out from the group, "I am Harren Alrainen. I was here before, a few weeks ago.
Yes, we know.
These are people from Mintar, fleeing.
Fleeing what?
Destruction of the city.
By what? That's in character, by the way.
That is harder to explain. Some sort of onslaught.
Last time I saw Harren, did he seem soldier type?
No. He was more of a he was a nobleman. He would have known how to fight or defend himself at least. But he was a soldier. He was
I will
more of
say
an
to
academic.
Kothar, I will kind of turn towards Kothar. Isn't it strange how a man of the book would suddenly look like a soldier and not
Yes.
even notice who we are after he hired us?
He's not exactly a man of the book. And you presume that he can see us from this distance and recognize us.
He's just beyond the bank, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I think he can see
Yeah,
us.
but
Fine.
we're up battlements, arrow slits. It's a guard tower. I'm not
I'm
expecting it to
standing
be
on top
like.
of it.
That's a bit different.
I
the
mean,
thing
that's
is-
how I did. I mean, I
But is
landed
there a
on top of
roof?
it.
Because we crashed over this thing, so there isn't a roof. I'm pretty sure of that.
But they prepared it properly.
Well, yeah, there's a roof. There's a portion taken out from the battlements on the square side of this tower. but the roof is still intact. That's
I'm
where
not going
that's where
to-
most of the Nightstone guards that are in the gatehouse are standing as well. They're on top.
And how is the field of view? Are these? I mean, this is the main defensible position. I'm not going to assume that it's wide open.
Yeah, there's the regular battlements of the towers. The field of view is actually really good, considering that the forest outside of town starts very light and only further away. So they've chopped like this field open.
I meant more up to us. Or do we have those
Up to you.
typical square opens?
Yeah, you have. You're like kind of blocked away. You can imagine Monty Python and the Holy Grail and taunt them very safely from where you are.
So I would like if I mean.
Hamster.
So Kothar, if I can prove to you that he doesn't know us, would that prove that it's a trap?
Yes. And also, I'm kind of curious what they're fleeing. If it is plague, we don't want them inside.
So I will yell to Heron. It is. You might remember me as the one that tried to tame a pig. And see his reaction.
You can see that even from a distance, you can see that Heron rolls his eyes and then shakes his head. You can see that he turns to the guard standing with him, and he just like opens his arms, like shrugs, and shakes his head again. He appears to say something to them.
And I would just ask him. So you remember the names of all of us, right? After you hired us. Polana is a very suspicious type.
Yeah.
An illusionist being suspicious of everything? Never.
Weird.
Mm.
Aaron turns back and looks up at you and calls out, What is this?
Well, I'm just making sure that you are who you look like.
I gave your party a Ring of the Ram as partial payment for your services.
Lucky guess. All right.
Heron, I am more interested in knowing if there's plague you're fleeing from.
No plague. Well, there was disease in the city, but it was magical. This is a very long story. It would be better to discuss this in the tavern, if possible.
As long as you haven't brought any with you.
No, none are with me.
Well,
All of those affected by the disease have died already, weeks ago.
Guard captain, it is your choice in the end.
And Kulana will kind of look at Kothar and then just shrug and take my shield and just fly down towards the square. I'll just stop here.
Sure. Crambo passes underneath and just marches straight to the gate and calls up, "Open the gate!" And you can hear that like 5 times it's repeated throughout the gatehouse. And then the chains holding the drawbridge up are let go of, and the drawbridge comes clattering down, and then the gates open.
Okay. I will just wait for people to stumble in and very suspiciously look at each one of them.
I'll be standing next to the gatehouse, watching the people go by.
Okay.
Kothar will join Crambo and wait for Heron.
Sure. The temple bells stop ringing finally. The guards nearby appear to be a little agitated.
That's right.
They are definitely on alert, although they are giving room around the square if these people are coming in. Harren and his smaller band coming first and stop right at the gate where Crambo is waiting for them.
Okay.
And
I will sneakily, I mean not sneakily, I will just walk up to where Crambo is, kind of get closer, not completely beside him, but just get closer to kind of listen into the conversation without actually being part of the conversation.
I'll be
Okay.
leaning around here.
All right. And Korthar, you're with Crambo. Shump,
Yes.
where are you?
Guess I'm down at the square now. I would say I would place myself right there.
Okay.
Everyone is near me. Come on. Like,
Or
give me
maybe right
space.
there.
Okay. So Crambo and Harren shake hands first and foremost. Then Harren tells him pretty much the same that he told you as well, that the people are fleeing from Mintar, and there was some sort of onslaught that took over the city.
Perhaps we should quarter these people and discuss it further in more private setting.
I'm not being part of the conversation, so
Can I hear it?
From where you are, no, probably not.
Okay.
You'd have to go closer. So, Crumbo turns to look at Kothar and then nods. Says, yes. Not so much space inside Nightstone itself, but we can probably assemble something. Give shelter to those we can and start building a camp outside.
How
All the
many
others.
have you brought with you?
Harren looks back to one of the guards, who then says, there are roughly 200 and...
so good.
So,
used to. When it was
You-
Hotmail.
TeamSpeak?
MSN?
MSN, yeah, that was
Yeah,
that was
A
no sound
messenger.
there.
Good old times.
Not so good.
Anyways,
but
you said
anyway.
200 and something people.
Yeah.
We don't know how many.
Around 280.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And Nightstone used to house how many?
5.
Nightstone?
Just 5.
Not that many, actually. Less than 100.
Yeah, because they did lose a good bunch, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Well, they could expand the city now.
It doesn't look like we could hold that much, but probably.
Actually, come to think of it, Quadana might be able to help here with construction at least.
Fabricate.
Fabricate can create stuff up to, I think, 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
20
that's-
weeks. Barracks.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's limited, and also I need the materials.
If
There's a
only
forest
you,
outside.
if only
I'm
you
not
knew
chopping.
some place, a campsite that was recently raised to the ground, where you could have found then tents and stuff. Unlikely
Well,
that
depends
there's
how much
any.
the elves burned. And then
Seemed
again,
to
those
be a
tents
very
were probably
big
sewn
fire,
together
so-
with animals.
Well, I can provide them with bubbles. Would that
Bubble
count
City.
as shelter? I can ritual cast every 10 minutes, so We can raise bubbles all over the place. It will be a bubbly
because
place.
it cancels when you leave it.
Oh yeah, right. So I can do bubbles right adjoining to one another. 4 bubbles, and I will be in the middle of the 4 bubbles.
With another bubble.
Yeah, probably.
That cat has now discovered water. Kothar would wait for them to decide what to do.
And Quelena will actually go back to the keep. She's bored.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got a mirror to steal.
Mm-hmm.
All
I have
right.
things to do. I
Borrow.
don't have time for mere peasants and housing. I'm not a housing person.
Okay. So after a quick moment of further discussion about what the hell to do with this sudden influx of people, Isadora arrives to the scene.
How does she look?
Naked.
Deflowered? I mean, dressed?
Disheveled.
I hate to tell you, Shump, but I think she was deflowered before you got here.
God damn Sloozy.
Well, he wouldn't
But-
be able to tell the difference.
Probably not, no. She's fully dressed in her tomboyish fashion, and she marches straight past you, Shump, to Crambo and the people waiting outside, and Heron. She says, she like immediately takes charge and goes like, what are you still waiting for? We need to start building tents and immediate emergency housing for those who cannot take shelter inside Nightstone.
Trump will just stand there and nod, thinking to himself, that's my girl.
And then she starts like pointing out some of the guards, instantly delegating, you take roughly 12 people and head out to the woods, gather as much wood as you can, and start building campfires. You take another 12 and gather larger pieces of lumber for construction. And she like rattles on all the necessities. So,
My
of
lady,
immediate use.
If I may offer, the complex offered to us, Ostra Farm, can be better put to use for the refugees.
Good. And then she turns straight back to delegating tasks.
Trump is pitching a tent.
Crambo takes several steps back, and Haran joins him in inside the town itself, while the guards rush off to like form these groups, working groups.
Kothar will step up to Crambo and kind of nudge him like, she's starting well so far.
He turns to you and gives you a nod with like this proud smile.
Now, we should probably see to the matter of information sharing before we tend to lending a hand with this whole operation here.
Yes, that is likely prudent. Let's go to the temple. It is quiet, and it will likely be quiet for a little time longer at least. Haran nods and yeah.
Yeah, I'll hook in and kind of wait for Champ and Reherden, and since Quelana's just marching away, he's like, okay, she can go and do something she shouldn't.
Trump will be very soldiery and go over to Kothar.
I'll just
Goose stepping.
He looks very light at the moment.
Well, he emptied some liquids. And you say,
Some-
and you know, 70% of the body is liquids, so.
Extremely pent up liquids, I guess.
Well, not from what we've
Pressurized.
heard of his exploits in Shielmista. You know, in the tent with a large blue elven-esque creature.
Well, there was not that many muscles involved, so now he's more limber.
Cat.
Yeah, she was in my closet. It was funny.
So, you, all of you, except for Kulena, gather inside the temple and take up like one of the pews just to like sit or lean against. As Harren starts telling you about what happened in Mintar, he starts. There was a sealed section of the city. It had been sealed off by the Circle of Life clerics working in Mintar, because there was a disease going around, targeting mostly elves and dwarves, non-humans in general. So a quarantine was established. The quarantine was broken when these magical lights appeared above the city, like an aurora, except that they were focused like a whirlpool around the quarantine section. And if I had to guess, someone must have opened a portal. Some portals somewhere. Suddenly these creatures of shadow started coming out. And as best as we could, and best as the Blue Cloaks of Mintar could fight them, they did. But it was not enough. I believe there are still survivors up in some sections of the city, but most of it is overrun.
But these creatures were defeatable by normal means, yes?
They sure seemed like they were going down. They had this weird bronze armor with these horns on the sides of the helmets that go down. Inside they were just shadow.
Yeah, Kothar just nods to Crambo.
The fighting has been going on for a couple of weeks. Must have been. I've been going street by street, block by block, slowly just smashing all resistance. And there just keeps coming more of them while the defenders dwindle.
Is the city considered lost?
I would think so, but I don't know. Last time when we left, there was still fighting in the Harbor District, and on top of the Harbor District where the Rich District is.
So, Roher, then you still think it's possible to acquire more than one before we destroy them?
Probably not. Unless we could somehow sneak in, which, given our respective disciplines, I would say no.
Crambo turns to both of you and goes, so the enemy has won, likely, since the forces started attacking the city shortly after coronet was discovered, or shortly after you pinged the coronet and found that it was found.
And we have no idea what the third one is.
So far, at least.
I haven't attempted to check for it for a while, but I'm not inclined to
Do
get
some
more
walks with
attention.
Mm.
If I am going to do it, I would at least not do it here.
Wise, considering we are so close. However, I would contend that perhaps it is best that we try and make a grab for the second one. If not for anything else, then to help Mintar if we can.
And how effective do you believe a band of 4 will be against a city in siege?
You have an airship.
1.
You have a dragon.
And I am lusting for blood.
Oh, you didn't get your blood earlier?
Isadora's not in the room, right?
No,
Okay, good.
she's still
And I am
outside.
lusting for blood.
Better be
Why?
careful, Kothar. He's looking thirsty.
Stop it, Rotherton. We are being diplomatic. Never mind him. That was history long gone.
Harren then steps up and says, there are still guards, blue clocks, that are ready for fighting. They were here, some against their wishes, that they were here to escort the people outside to some safety. They would be willing to join us.
An exact number, preferably, Harren?
24. 24 guards in fighting condition, I think.
24, let's just say 3, because fuck knows where Kalana's ran off to. Kalana's not here to hear this, so we'll just assume 3 of us for now.
Yeah, I do believe she would probably be the hardest to convince a all-out assault on a city.
Unless we mention the crown.
I do not believe she has any interest in the coronets.
Research
But if we
purposes.
say there's a library there of magic, she might be interested in trying to save that.
Do we have any assistance from the north?
Yes, the Elves of Thornwood would probably not help at all.
Given the distance and the time it would take them to travel to assist,
I might have people in Longrot Grove, but I do not know yet. But it should be on the way. Who knows? Maybe there's an army down there.
it's probably not on the way.
Well, it's a little detour. It's a small detour. But who knows? There might be billions of people waiting for my command.
Doubtful.
You can get the orcs. Oh wait.
God damn it. Even when she's not here, I can feel the condescending tone of Galena in my head.
Hey, we could always, go acquire those adventurers from another area.
The issue I see
Have a
with
character.
attacking Mintar, or at least going for it, is what of the coronet we currently have?
We could be playing straight into their hands, so to speak. Do they have hands?
Right into their shadowy tendrils.
Well, that is
Well-
quite likely, but you could hide it somewhere, for the time being, at least.
Do you perhaps have a easily accessible hiding place that would transport it safely away from us?
That we could retrieve it, should we need it.
A safe place, not necessarily, spot a place where you might be able to hide it away for a good long while before it is discovered.
Well, I mean, we also have the option of handing over it to that copper dragon we noticed. Or was it a bronze?
I know rope trick.
Oh, yes, shunting it away into a pocket plane would be ideal.
Right.
But no, if you have something, or somewhere, rather, Crambo, then I would not want to be caught with the coronet in Mintar.
As we're trying to retrieve the other coronet.
Well, the simplest way then is to use my location. But for that, we need to return to the keep.
To the keep.
Can I whisper
Yes.
something to Kothar that nobody else hears?
Sure, you are.
I told you he has a horde.
That's it.
I
Okay.
didn't actually hear, so.
What's the passive perception of a dragon of that size?
Can that be an opposed stealth oral check?
Do an athletics.
I whisper. I do an athletics check.
Stealth and deception.
Yeah,
Using
deception could
strength.
work, right?
Deception? How is that deception?
It would be stealth and deception, so.
I mean, if you really want to, then you can make a stealth check for your whisper.
The one time he actually rolls well on stealth.
I didn't think that was going to end well.
Though I'm quite sure that the dragon has a passive perception that is almost the same, if not higher.
Okay,
I mean,
Probably.
good.
they are
So,
very good
cra-
at listening.
Crumbo just turns to look at you, Shump. Just like looks at you for a couple of seconds and then turns back to Kothar and says, well, if we need to get this over and done with as quickly as possible, then let us let us go back to
get
the
Quilena in trouble.
let us go back to the keep, or do you wish to gather our strength further?
Not sure if there is any strength to be gathered.
No.
Besides, I'm sure Quilana is off doing something she shouldn't somewhere.
Unless,
If you have
unless
anything you don't want her to find, you probably should hide it better.
the only other strength I can see is maybe gathering is some assistance from the actual guards of Nightstone. But given that most of them are usually too high to do anything,
They also now have an influx of refugees that need safekeeping and also commanding.
Let Quilena lead them.
To their death.
By tomorrow, there will be no problem with the refugees.
yes, there will be no refugees, just smouldering piles of ash that all look like refugees.
No, she's not so evocation. I mean, it would be something much less nice about it.
Oh, so those spells you
Yeah,
were casting on
insanity.
me.
No, for some reason all the refugees attacked each other because they thought they were illusionary gnomes.
That would be more likely.
Yeah,
To
that definitely
probably
sounds like the spell she was using on me.
Well, I mean, I had to test some on people.
So the question then is, do we catch a certain someone in the act?
Mm-hmm.
Depends. You didn't yet let me get there.
So while the rest of you are leaving the temple, Helena, what have you been
Yes.
up to?
I've been
reached
going
the,
straight for the mirror.
Yeah, you're back at the mirror.
Yeah.
No problem.
So I would like to. Is there a room next to the mirror that is small that should be for example, storing things?
A
Cleaning
storage
cupboard.
closet.
Maybe. I don't know anything. Any room that isn't the room that I know that is the fuck room. Another room. I mean,
Do
I
you
don't
want-
want my mirror to get dirty.
Well, of course. Do you want to just like open doors and peek inside?
Mage hand, yes.
Okay. So most of the rooms here are either bedrooms or private quarters. There are a
Space
couple of
occupied.
most of them not. These
Right,
are
so I
more
will
like
just.
guest quarters style.
So I'm guessing the description would be you can hear this as I drag the mirror after me to one of those rooms.
Sure. Yeah.
And I would, after I close the door behind me, start casting Identify onto the mirror. Ritual cast it.
Okay.
I need to know what it is. I mean, at least Colena needs. I'm guessing I know what it is, but
You're
I
going
want
to
her to
ritual
know.
cast it.
Yes, I don't have it memorized, so.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Though
10
that's why I
minutes.
switched rooms, because I said if he gets back, I'm not in that room.
So, yeah, so while the rest of you are walking back towards the keep, Quilena, you are reciting the final words of your ritual cast of Identify. The mirror is a portal to another place on this plane.
Okay. Do I know anything about this specific portal, or just that it is a portal?
Only that it's a portal that leads to this plane of existence.
Does my character know anything about portals?
I'm sure you've had plenty of basic training regarding portals over your time.
The question is whether portals are, I mean, in regards to normally, not in regards to every portal, but are they normally two-sided or one-sided?
Portals are usually two-sided. Teleportation circles
One-sided.
are usually one-sided.
All right, so he's been busy having travels to another land. Who knows where? Though it seems a bit frozen, so it's not close by. All right, at least she knows now. So you can hear again the as she drags it back to the room.
Okay.
And she won't try to lift it, just to be clear. I mean, I'm not trying to lift it at all. I'm just dragging it after me and putting it back into the room, trying to kind of arrange it at the same position that it was, though it's now cloudy and all, and then just go out the room, close the door behind me, and then, well, I mean, I'm guessing that by this time they would arrive, but if not, I will just head towards the library.
Okay. Sure. You've just about settled the mirror where you think it originally was.
Yeah.
And then step out of the room and see Crambo walking up the stairs to this floor. Kothar, Roherden, and Shamp with him.
I will just try to act casually as I will start walking towards the library. I've been
Balana,
What's up?
I see
You
you're out
can kind of see
exploring.
me arranging my hair after I've been dragging a mirror, so I'm
Kind of sweaty.
arranging my hair, arranging a bit the robes.
The real question is, did the mirror have any sharp edges that left obvious trails?
No, not on this flooring.
Not on this floor. Okay.
No, this floor is completely made of like very sturdy old old style planks. So Not like a laminated floor or anything.
I will just look at them and ask, what? You solved the issue of the refugees?
Yes, we're going to attack Mintar. You win?
Are you nuts? Or do you lose your head? Or what's wrong with you?
I look
No,
past.
but Mintar is kind of under attack, and there's a coronet there, and it's a chance to maybe save some valuable knowledge
280
and magic.
people were there and didn't solve the issue.
Well, they aren't fighters.
Well, I did see quite a few fighters among the group that arrived here.
Yeah, they're going back.
They're going back. Well, good for them.
Oh, we're taking them back.
And how are you planning to go back? Using an airship, I'm guessing?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you plan exactly to vanquish something that they didn't manage to do with an army of a city?
Oh, we don't intend to vanquish them.
So what are you planning to do?
Strategic recovery.
Recovery of what?
The coronet and any other magical knowledge and books and such, and also potentially shutting down portals if there's any.
I don't know how to shut a portal down.
We're going in to fuck their day up.
I think that we should plan better than that. It sounds like a bad plan. at the
Oh,
best of times.
we are, but currently we have something else to attend to. Cranboy is going to help us with that.
I look at Crambo and kind of say, have you come for your love? And kind of open my arms kind of towards him.
Crambo just looks at you, blinks a couple of times, and then walks past.
And we hear just a giant shout, "Who the fuck's been touching my mirror?"
He opens the door in this room, takes a quick look around, appears to focus on something on the right hand side, where Aquilina, you know the puzzle box to be.
I put it back.
and then turns back to look at you, Aquilina.
I look at him and I blink a couple of times.
He shakes his head in a disapproving manner and then walks into the room without saying a single word.
Well, awkward situations are meant to be. And do the others follow him, or is he just closing the door behind him?
Door is open.
Oh, okay. So I'll follow, since now I can see what he does with that mirror.
Okay. Do the rest of you follow along?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was never in your room. What an interesting room. Just kidding. I'm not saying that.
You all follow him into the room, where he instantly walks to the mirror with the cloudy surface still behind it. And again, he turns, looks at you, Aquilina, shakes his head, and then instantly steps through the mirror.
Well, I will just say in Draconic, in a whisper, can't the girl have fun? I will... actually, I will follow.
Okay. The rest of you as well?
Yep.
And I will... Well, if it's a fall, I will use Featherfall.
There's no fall.
Okay.
You emerge in a large icy structure. You can see that the skies here are extremely clear. You can feel a chill radiating from the walls, but there is no wind chill inside the structure itself. So you are like still nice and cozy despite not wearing like winter clothes.
What did we enter through? I want to check behind me what I walked through.
Behind you is an oval portal.
Okay. Is it a mirror as well?
No.
Oh, I wanted to bend it also to see what happens.
You can see in the distance behind one of these pillars there is a small silvery creature, no bigger than a dog, that appears to be gnawing on something.
I have a suspicion I know what.
Kothar is very starry-eyed. He can't even try to hide it. It's like,
Crambo turns back to you and like opens his arms wide open and like does that like half turn just to present everything to you, and goes, "Welcome to Calvin's Cairn. Welcome to
this far
Icewind Dale."
north. This far north.
I would just say,
I need to pull up the
I don't
big
like the
map.
cold so much.
Oh, if you're going to pull up the map, you're going to scroll very far north.
No, not really. Usually the map of Faerun starts like focused on Icewind Dale since it's the top leftmost place. Yeah.
But I would ask Crambo, are you sure you want to expose this place to this risk, though?
Do I have a choice?
There's always a choice.
If we wish to do this quickly, then no.
Oh, Kulanak will kind of.
Then again, this entire region is known to have its guardians.
I will go up to Rohirthan and kind of ask him, is the coronet the reason you wanted to go to practice your blacksmithing?
Possibly.
That's a far stretch for a reasoning.
Actually, no. After I now know that you want to hide it.
Yeah, but how are these two things related?
Well, I
We
mean,
went from ice
her
to...
guess would be that at first you were thinking just of destroying whatever it is. And actually, I mean, she knew that you were lying to her. So that's... I knew that you are up to something else than just going to practice his blacksmithing. And then the second thing is that suddenly you want to hide it. And
Well,
it's the only subject.
it's more that when we were talking about the initial thing, a lot of things have changed since that. Suddenly we had refugees. Suddenly we're going to attack Mintar. Obviously, you know that Mintar holds the other coronet, so clearly you wouldn't bring one coronet to the other that is currently under siege. Why that is related to the volcano trip?
Because the only thing that would be reasonable for you to want to go to a volcano for is to destroy something. Since I know that he's not interested in blacksmithing, he never showed any interest in blacksmithing. If the story was more interesting for her, maybe, but in her regards, volcano is something destructive. And when I wanted to go to the volcano, you said there's no need to go to a volcano.
Crambo, while the coronet might be safe here, should I put a precautionary ward on it?
Yes, you. Actually, that might be a bad decision. There are children scurrying around here.
Well, there already is.
Crambo looks towards Shump. Just like quirks his
Try to
eyebrow.
prevent that. I mean, sure, I'm young, but I'm wise, and I love to kill stuff, and I deserve to know stuff, and I already got laid.
We all know.
Just
Well
like
done on that, by the way, Sean. Well done.
Thank you.
Actually, when I said there already is, I said there already is a ward on the coronet.
Oh, I thought it was
Ah.
children scurrying about.
Actually, I understood
Let's hope
that
not.
as well.
Let's hope
No,
not.
I thought you were referencing me for children.
No, there's still a while for that now, I think.
Thank you. I thought you was looked at me as a child because you are so ancient, and so is he. But never mind.
Crambo says, thank you.
No problem. You look good.
It takes a lot for a short-lived species to understand how meager their lives truly are.
Oh yeah, I don't. Wait, what? My life's not meager. Didn't I tell you I got laid?
I'm guessing at the moment. I'm guessing at the moment he probably has this look of, oh, I saw a dog have trying to try to get laid. How cute.
Yeah. Aww.
Thank you. It was quite a feat. I also own property.
Oh, the poor thing is still panting, and it's been hours.
No pant. Cold.
So Crambo turns back to you, Kothar, and says, well, should still stay. I hope your ward is not overly destructive.
Only to the first individual touching it, that isn't me.
Well, hold on.
How do you fare against lightning?
So. But just hold on for a moment there. And he, like, starts concentrating. And you see this, like, frost start billowing up from the ground and gather into a mist that then thickens and starts to form crystals of ice that start combining and melding until they form a small chest and then solidifies into what looks like a chest made entirely of ice.
That answers one of my questions.
Which question is that?
The fog.
Ah. Good.
Yes, that'll do. Now I can put a ward on that too.
Crambo just like looks at you. The entire meaning of creating the chest was that none of my children get hurt.
Oh, I meant more a ward to alert us if it's opened or not, Not something destructive. Though I don't actually possess any such divination magic now that I consider it.
Well, it's a thought that counts. And he opens the chest for you to place the coronet inside.
Yeah, Kothar will rummage around in his sack and pull out the coronet, place it in, and he'll look to Qualana.
I will just look around, kind of look at the small creatures around, still trying to disbelieve dragons.
You can see that one of them has your bone, and it's very happily
yes.
gnawing at it.
I will say in Draconic, enjoy. And just
it hisses back at you.
That's rude.
Qualana, would you mind locking this chest? It is a meager measure against creatures such as this, but something.
Are you sure that will actually help for anything?
Peace of mind for me, nothing more. Wouldn't want the children to be hurt, will we?
I will. Do I actually have it memorized? Yes. I will put the arcane lock onto the chest.
Okay. You lock the chest.
And I won't tell the word that I used.
That's fine. I can easily dispel it. Besides, if I'm captured, I can have plausible deniability now.
Exactly. And she has a fair knowledge of how to get back here.
Crambo, would you do the honors of placing it somewhere out of reach and sight?
He he takes hold of the chest and then picks it up as if it's like super light, and then starts carrying it towards the end of the structure. He places it down where the structure curves in that like very traditional cathedral shape, and he places it straight in the middle of that, and then walks back to you. That'll do.
Kothor's just like nudging her, then like, why would you put it so obvious out in the open? Is this a dragon thing?
I think so.
I mean, it's literally the centerpiece now.
The size of the dragons, the small dragons, would it be bigger than 3 feet?
3 feet? Yeah.
5 feet?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Alright, I will just try to remember how they look like. Do they resemble the big dragon
Yeah.
in any way?
Yeah.
Alright.
Smaller.
They look like the big dragon, except like shrunk down and slightly made slightly Disneyfied, like big eyes, and look like puppy dogs a little bit.
Do they look intelligent in their play? I mean, she was looking at them while they were gnawing and all that.
Yeah.
Alright.
And they seem to
It's
be
just- So
playing
probably when she
random.
will get back, you will just see her like pull out the letter and write some notes on that.
Okay.
Illusions. Try to look intelligent. Okay.
I went to illusory land.
Yep.
Everything was supposedly made of ice.
It was beautiful.
Should look into making that.
Note to self. Ice castle. Alright, so I will kind of look around and say, are we waiting for anyone else?
No. I
No.
do believe it's time to leave this place at least.
Return.
Kind of chilly.
Kothar will like pet Ninyak for a moment and like, you can stay here if you want to. Looks like you have some playmates and it's much more safe.
Ninyak like curls up against you and goes, we both know I cannot leave. I will simply disappear.
Perhaps in time we can change
rid
that.
of you.
I look forward to being killed again.
No, I'll do my utmost not to have that happen again.
You
It's not like
keep
the last
telling
thing.
me that.
Hey, it's only been twice.
I mean,
Oh.
most people just die once, but yeah.
Yeah.
And one time wasn't my fault either.
First time was.
Don't put fire here. Don't put fire here.
So Crumbo points back to the oval portal behind you.
Step through.
Okay.
I will look at Crambo.
Crumbo looks back to you and goes, "You may stay if you'd like."
Not very interesting here. And not much to eat. I will just shrug and head back.
Okay.
My life has meaning.
He says as he's passing him.
I will go to Shump after we pass and just to go to him and just say, "You have meaning."
Thanks, although I think that you have thoughts behind your words.
I will just give him a hug.
There is something afoot. Weapons at the ready.
And I will say, there.
Kolana has been swapped out. We have to take means of attack or something. Kolana has been killed.
Crumbo is the last person out. As he steps through and rejoins you in the keep, he turns and quickly swipes his hand over the very top frame of the mirror, and slowly the clouds dissipate.
Now I know how to activate and deactivate it. Good. Yeah, so now all I need to know. So now, since he already knows that I was in his room and all that, there's no awkward moment here. I would ask, what's that cube?
Crumbo turns to look at the cube and then goes, it's a puzzle box.
What's inside?
That's for those who solve the puzzle to know.
I will solve it.
You may try.
We'll look at him and ask him, can I have it then?
Yes.
I pick
Why
it up
not?
and put it in my bag.
I have already solved it.
I will pick it up and put it in my bag.
Okay.
Is it heavy?
No, it's just 1 pound.
Oh, okay.
So, shall we strategize in the airship, perhaps, or do you have a more suitable room?
Probably best if we have at least one of the more senior officers of the Mintar troops with us.
And perhaps Heron? As much as we can of the layout of the place and known lost areas, etc.
Location of the item we're going in for, or last known location.
Okay. So you start gathering your forces.
Ooh,
Intelligence.
lovely.
At least.
I like it.
So you want to take everyone on your airship, I'm assuming?
Well, we're a bit
Head out that way.
understaffed, so that would be the best.
Yes, that you are. Yeah. With Taran's help, you are able to gather together like the 24 able-bodied guards from Mintar. Haran and one of the guards who appears to be more knowledgeable of the bunch are able to draw you a rudimentary like layout of the city itself.
Marking points of interest.
Battle lines, defensible fallback positions, locations of resistance.
Yep. So
Also, we
Let's go
would leave the horse.
sure. So the last pink location, somewhere in the Moonlight District. The High Circle district is the most defensible location. It is on a bluff that rises up and then falls in a cliff into the Lake of Steam. And beneath High Circle is Underwall, which is essentially a harbor district sheltered underneath in a cavern underneath High Circle. Those are the two locations that are still or were before.
Within the last 3 days.
Yeah, within the last 3 or 4 days, there was still fighting there and were being defended.
Holy shit, those rolls.
I think I succeeded.
Yeah. Wasn't a crit, but close.
No, but still.
You're
She
instantly
really
making
wanted to
progress with your puzzle box. While the
Yeah.
others are laying plans and crafting a map, you're just like in the background, moving pieces.
Half listening to what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, do remember she's not the soldier type or the strategic type. She's more of a sage type, so
Yeah.
her interest in fights is very high.
Yes, and where was the quarantine zone and any locations of magical knowledge that might want to be saved?
The Moonlight District was the current quarantine district. Everyone in Moonlight District is presumed dead as part of the magic.
Yes, knowledge of the disease.
The only thing known for certain is that it targeted non-humans, preferably those with longer lifespans, such as elves and dwarves. Or there hasn't been symptoms of the disease after that, after
Cures?
the fighting started. There was no known cure for it. It was a disease that seemed to more or less just pull away the life force itself from those it was affecting.
Were the spells attempted?
Yes, to no avail.
Curse.
If there was a direct magical effect, it was not on the people themselves.
Hmm.
A curse is unlikely because the Circle of Life did try to remove curses. That did not help. Even greater restoration was deemed unlikely to help much. It alleviated some of the pain and elongated the lifespan, but not by
How
much.
long before the attack have people been sick?
Roughly a couple of weeks before the attack. But the after the quarantine, people started just like dropping like flies inside the district. Especially in the week just before the attack.
How many non-humans were in the city?
How many non-humans? Probably 1,500 to 2,000. It's a fairly sizable port city.
Disease progression and time.
The guards and Harren don't know. The Circle of Life, the local cleric circle, they would know more, but there was at least no public knowledge about it.
So no estimate between infection and time of death?
No.
I-
It seemed to differ, and as far as the guards and Harren know, it became more rapid towards the start of the invasion.
Kodana will just say, I wouldn't cancel out that you have someone inside that is actually causing it. Someone who just doesn't like non-humans.
Quite possible.
Very possible.
The real question is, are they connected to the coronet or not?
We will never know.
Well, we might find out.
Not sure I want to get into a place where a disease that strikes just us is.
Given the fact
Without
that we
proper
are all...
defense, I won't enter such a zone.
Well, none of us would survive it. But that's assuming the disease is still there.
Well,
It
unless you have a
targets-
way to check it before you enter, I don't see a way to enter
From
the
what knowledge
city.
we have of it, it only targets those of us with longer lifespans that aren't human.
So orcs.
You're looking at 2 elves, a dwarf.
Dwarf and an orc Goliath.
None of us.
Mm-hmm.
None of us would be spared.
So your plan sucks.
So far, I didn't really intend on landing. I was going to deal with it from the air, what I can, but more information from the Circle of Life would be needed.
How would you exactly get the help of the Circle of Life without landing?
Well,
Shouting.
shouting, of course.
So the
Sending a human down?
the guards and Heron are able to tell you that Circle of Life has a tower, and rededicated Wizard's Tower in High Circle, where it would be likely that you are able to get close to it with your airship. It stands tall above all of the other structures. Whether or not the magical effect reaches high in the air, it's unknown.
I say I have a solution for the effect for as long as 8 hours don't pass.
And that is?
A bubble.
Yes, I see.
If you want to sacrifice yourself, you're free to do it.
Sometimes a sacrifice is called for.
Not in my studies.
We all have different goals in life and different
Assuming
paths.
we land in High Circle and travel to where we know the last known ping of the coronet, how long do you think I'm taking foot?
On foot?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Starting at the Circle of Life or Parliament building.
from the Circle of Life, yeah, that's 4 miles, so about an hour just or so. But it would,
Taking into consideration any fighting and resistance on the way.
yeah, if there's fighting, then that would throw it instantly. Longer than that, unknown.
What about the walls of the city?
The walls of the city?
I mean, more as in their defenses and proper issues against the airships.
Towers along the city walls. None of them are equipped for fighting an aerial threat. So there are
Simple
no
arrows.
ballistas or anything. There are trebuchets on some of the towers.
They could prove an issue, depending on how low they fly.
I'll just look at the balloon. Hello.
No, a trebuchet should not prove a issue for an airship that is capable of fairly high rate of climbing.
Though you are seeking to get very low in order to get to that wizard tower.
Yes, but these are trebuchets. They are not aimed in towards the city, they are aimed out. And you
Hopefully.
don't simply turn most trebuchets.
One does not simply turn a trebuchet.
How is this zone quarantined?
When the quarantine was still in effect and intact, there were magical barriers erected by the Circle of Life.
Are
that-
those still in effect?
Most of them not. Those were broken when the invasion started, and the shadows destroyed many of the pillars that were used to keep up or contain the quarantine magic.
Any non-humans survived?
Yes, from the other districts.
Interesting.
But most of the non-humans lived in Moonlight District, so hence it was easy to quarantine.
What is unique about the Moonlight? I mean, does Moonlight get its water source from another place than the rest of the city?
Nope, the same underground water layer. They get their water from the same place.
Well, there should be something unique there. All right. So we still need a better plan.
I'd say for inserting ourselves into the city and accessing the Circle of Life, we take a detour around and across the lake, coming the harbour side.
And we also do not leave the airship until a human has been sent to the Circle of Life to confirm the status of the disease and also any relevant knowledge.
Well, if there are no more non-humans in the district, there would be no more deaths. So no one would actually know that anyone is sick.
More importantly, we need to know as much about the disease as possible. Which is why we send a certain someone who is full of scales.
All right.
So Quilana considers it.
I haven't said anything yet in character now. I'm still thinking about her, what she's thinking. I mean, just checking my flaws and all that to check.
Yeah, that's where I have the issue, where he's going to go there, if he even has to go on foot.
Same would jump.
I will be going, regardless.
A certain Shump should probably go get, well, pay it forward just in case he doesn't survive.
What is where is the library located at? In which district?
The magical stuff. That would be inside the Circle of Life tower.
Trump still has this love letter.
So, I have a suggestion. Since I'm guessing whatever was in Moonlight District that was affecting the people to be sick is probably has killed all of them, and we have no sure way of getting it, knowing that there's no more disease in the city. I would suggest we stick with the districts that were not affected at all. There's no reason to go exactly there.
We have no other reason to go into the Moonlight District than to check for the coronet.
We can check it from the air.
No.
It's a coronet.
Yeah.
Can you detect magic from that distance?
No, but I mean it's a
It's likely
coronet.
going to be inside the
Shiny.
building.
We shall go down and check.
Maybe.
And
Just
Kolana will stay in the ship, bound and gagged and headless. And we shall go down and check.
How many of the Mintar troops are human?
The vast majority of the ones that are with you
going
now,
with us.
so like 20 of them. 20 of the 24 are human.
the city.
In the city, around 70% are human. But that was numbers from before the disease and before the invasion. So who knows what it actually is now.
for searching the Moonlight District, assuming that the disease is still lingering, we could provide air support somewhat and send the human Mintar troops to search for what we're looking for.
If only you had some sort of item with which you could ping the exact location this coronet you're seeking.
That would be assuming that it is actually being worn actively at the time.
Well, you haven't checked.
Not going to.
Comb the city for the coronet seems to be the plan.
No. Check the location specific. If the coronet is not there, see if there's any obvious clues that it has been taken somewhere nearby. If it has been taken, it is probably far from there. Mission failed. Leave.
Comb the city, huh?
No.
No.
The camera zooms in on a couple of blue cloaks with a massive comb going through city streets. We ain't
At least
found
they're
shit.
not combed. At least they haven't combed the desert.
Yeah, we ain't found shit.
So,
You have a rough plan, something workable.
A workable plan. Knowing us will deviate from it extremely.
and
As
also,
always.
what the plan further will change based on what we learn from the Circle of Life, because we need to know what they know.
Yeah.
We should take one and interrogate it.
Or ask it nicely. Try asking first, then interrogate.
Well, it's your
I'm
way.
sure there's a bar near the Significant Library that would love to help us with that.
Speaking of that, maybe we should go there.
Yes. And if this disease turns out to be one that is able to move and travel, I will not leave Mintar until it has been resolved and dealt with. Not for the good of Mintar, but Shilmista is reasonably close by, and this disease specifically targets my kind.
I'm fine. Pretty much anyone who isn't human, really.
Yes, but we are
Oh,
very
we're
long
late
lived,
again.
so
Actually, you said long-lived, and Champ won't be long-lived.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to get laid again. So the disease will have to be dealt with either way.
Well, I mean, you might not be affected, so...
Don't
Doing
call
their-
me up. You're calling my life meaningless all the time. I have meaning.
I didn't say that. I
I
said
have
that
said-
you have meaning.
None of us specifically said meaningless, just shorter.
Shorter, yeah. I'm 29 years old. I'm old.
yeah, you're nearing the end of your life. Poor little thing.
Chump jumps off the ship.
No, he's at the end of his life. Oh wait, no, not left yet.
I'm
Smack.
110 years old.
Does it? It's a repeat of earlier. He just hits the air walkway that's probably still there.
I mean,
No,
he
it
didn't,
wouldn't- it wouldn't
he didn't
have been there.
specify where he jumped off the ship from, and
I was
two.
thinking about
So-
And
that.
also, my
Oh,
air bridge wouldn't be there anymore because I already used spells and all that, so my concentration would have not
that's
been
like
there.
at least
Time
what is
also.
that? 46?
30 feet.
46? I was thinking about rappelling from the airship. Because I want to be famous, whatever
Oh well,
it takes.
you didn't
I'll do
say
it
that.
anything.
He said
No,
jump.
but it was in a spur of the moment.
I think I should rappel down and check the atmosphere.
I think you should
What
go
the hell?
to Lady Isadora and see if she can give you a goodbye kiss, because she might not see you again ever.
Oh, she's on the ship too?
No.
No.
No, she's busy dealing with the refugees.
Yeah.
And perhaps you should ensure that you leave behind a legacy in case you don't return.
Maybe I already did.
Oh, it doesn't never hurts to make sure, you know.
Very thorough.
True. Very true.
Okay.
I should probably do that. I shouldn't get late again.
Definitely.
The birds chirp again, and you can hear the rustling of tigers in the bushes.
And maybe you should leave behind the deed to that piece of land as well, just in case.
Hey. Oh, yeah, okay.
For your offspring.
If I get offspring, then yeah.
For any potential offspring, Can't leave them with nothing.
So, Shump, you rappel off the ship.
Take my letter. Give it to her with the attached sperm.
Yeah.
What?
You'll find this, Lady Sadora, with your children attached to this letter.
Hi.
Slightly colder. I'll have like a little box for her for later.
Puts it in a little box and then goes through the mirror again for storage options.
Are you intending to deliver the message yourself?
No, I have to be famous, whatever it takes. So I guess I'm gonna just outsource, and then I will rappel down.
Well,
Are you repelling down then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you rappelling down?
Because I'm checking the atmosphere.
In the castle of Nightstone.
Yeah.
And that means you can't go over to Isadora just
Okay,
a few
yeah.
meters down the road?
I'll go over there, and if we have time, I'll deliver my legacy.
Well, we have to
Sure,
make sure all the
never
troops are prepared, so...
You guys prepare the troops, and I will deliver my legacy.
You'll prepare the troops and you'll deliver some troops.
This is getting
So-
very complicated.
Yes. Very
It's
confusing.
actually very simple.
So, Jump. After some running around like a headless chicken, you find Lady Dora at the town square, talking to someone who has one of the townspeople who has a sign that says "Close the gates, build the wall stronger, make Nightstone great again." And
Okay. Yeah.
and
Can I speak to him right now?
sure, we got some time.
I like your enthusiasm, although you're, make Nightstone great again. You're not really expanding your ideas. It's my idea.
The townsman turns to you and smiles and says, "Ah, well, thank you. These bloody refugees coming in here. Who knows what they're gonna do in this town? You should just
Are
turn
you
them away."
insinuating that Mintarians are just rapists and scallywaggons?
No, I'm just saying that they're bad hombres. Close the gates.
Is he bald, or is he? What color is he?
He appears to have this strange tint of orange to his skin. He has he has this red cap on, and
know what?
and this
I think you would be.
and on his shirt there's this strange symbol of a blue cross on a red background with stars on it. You see
You
that
and
he
me should have
he
words.
has these buck teeth and a large gap in the middle.
Sounds like a beautiful person.
Yeah, right? You're shaped like an egg, too.
Coming
Could
from
I talk to
it's
you
pretty-
for a little bit, my good sir? Right outside. Before I deliver something, please.
Yeah, sure.
We have the same idea, you see. Let's go.
We just go right outside, okay?
Mhm.
Can I kill him?
You want to kill him?
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, he's threatening my ideals. because I'm taking over Faerun and he's trying to take Nightstone where my bay is, and also he's criticizing the refugees that my bay is protecting. So I have to protect her by killing him. Logic.
Someone has to do the dirty work in the shadows.
Yeah.
So
I think
okay.
she might object if she knew.
Well, she will never know.
Are we
so-
outside?
Yeah.
So what are your intentions with this? What is your agenda?
He looks down at the sign and then like points it towards your face, like read.
Yeah, okay.
These-
Thank you.
I just want this town to go back to the way it used to be.
Oh yeah,
Nice,
before there
quiet
was
town.
outsiders coming in and jumping the people in here, right?
Yeah, these outsiders, they bring these illusory gnomes everywhere, and drugs and crime and boulders all over the place. Time we
Having
close
sex
these
with the-
gates.
Yeah, having sex with the inhabitants and stuff. Bastards, huh?
You punch him?
Yeah.
Okay,
For starters, I punch him.
hold on.
Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do.
And this is how Shump dies.
Shump doesn't even make it to Mintar, he just gets
Okay.
beaten to death by Nightstone.
So
This is actually the
yeah.
heavyweight champion of the region, and you're fighting it.
So, pretty much mid-sentence, you just like launch your fist towards his face.
Yeah.
You hear a sickening crunch as his skull gives way beneath your fist, and your fist runs straight through into his head.
Is there some brain on my fist?
There's a lot. The whole brain is like on top of your fist.
Yeah, he'll kind of, while he's through his skull, he'll just just pull it back.
Yeah, let's see if you think about that next time you bring your fucking ideals into a city you don't even know how to diplomate, rule, governate.
You're basically talking to a dead person, but
Yep.
Yeah, I know, but it's for a cause. Can I roll something to disguise or hide the body?
Well, you were doing this just outside the gates, weren't you?
well, I
You're
mean,
right outside the corner of or where we were, like just off from where he was then,
Okay, so
with the people around the corner.
yeah.
So you could just kick him into the river.
Yeah, well, that works too, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Do it like
Can
the
I
Italians.
also? I have
I know
a
some people hate Colena, but at least I'm not killing random people.
Well, he deserved it. I have a calligraphy kit.
Bloody Antifa. They're the real criminals.
I want to write that I regret trying to take over Nightstone's ideals on his sign, and then just shove him off.
Okay. So the poor commoner who is just concerned for the well-being of his community is now sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah.
Literally got brained with a fist.
Yeah, well, at least I can't identify him because I guess the teeth is nowhere to be found.
The brain is lacking.
Yeah, also
Yep.
his facial features are almost like not even there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are also lacking.
Yeah, so we'll just keep
So-
those motherfuckers out of Nightstone.
Yeah,
So,
we don't want any intolerance here.
So you return back to Isadora, and
With a
she-
cloth around my fist.
Yeah, you're wiping off.
Yeah.
And Isadora immediately pulls you aside a little bit and presses against
You
you.
just kill a person.
And She she quietly tells you or asks you what is going on in Mintar? Have you found anything out?
Yeah, there's a disease killing people that is not a human. I might die, Isadora. This might be my last conversation with you, other than the coitus talk we will have later.
I heard there was paddle there as well.
Yes.
What is?
Yes.
You're going to go there, aren't you?
Of course.
You're going
it
to
might
save
be
them?
Mordrain. I will save them, and I will kill the guy that scratched my armor and my skin and my soul before I fought him off.
She tugs at your armor to get you like closer to her, and like gives you a.
I'm picturing these fucking Sin City cartoon drawings when you say that.
And she gives you a quick kiss on the lips, and then peers at you with her like doe eyes and goes, remember what I told you before about us not being able to be together?
Oh, I thought you were talking about when I did that mistake. And yes.
No.
Yes, I remember. It's not the wrong hole anymore. Yes, I remember.
For all.
Yes.
I need you to convince the defenders of Mintar that you are right for them and take over the city. Then we can be together.
So just Mintar? That's it?
Become their ruler, protector, whatever they wish to make you into. Just
basically, if I rip Mordrain's head off and stop the disease and ensure it's a safe well-being of the people of Mintar, you will be my bae, my old lady, forever.
I will pledge myself as the bride of the ruler of Mintar. Only if it's you.
Yes, your wish is my desire.
Good. Now go, be a hero. And
I
she
will.
like lightly taps you on the chest with a with a punch.
You will do the same, but not to her.
Okay, roll your jumping fist.
It will not be to her.
It'll be the Injustice comic where Superman punches through Joker's chest.
Yeah, or in the Simpsons movie when the polar bear kicks the dog by the river bend.
Yeah. Good. So, shortly thereafter, Shump returns to the airship.
We are ready to depart. Departure. We are ready to depart.
That was quick.
Let's depart. Yeah, well, stuff happened. There wasn't blood. There wasn't talk. There wasn't feelings. Some promises. And an oath that I will uphold.
Shump, you need more experience. You're obviously not performing as well as you should.
I will rule Mintar. And then I will have my bae.
And now you're compensating for it.
I'm not compensating for it. Does it show? I mean...
Did you notice how long I was gone?
No.
Maybe you should have paid more attention. I'm disappointed in you.
I'm not like you guys, peeping Toms. You know, I only finished twice because of you guys. So thank you for that.
Yes.
From what we heard at the door, it was 1.5.
Yet here you stand, eager to
That's your
leave.
opinion. I mean, I was there. Well, technically you were too, but
I was too.
we should go and get Mintar safe.
I'm sure it's going to take a while to get down to Mintar, so I'm sure Herthan can teach you a few things.
Would you?
Well, Emma, I think we could borrow your bubble. Give Shump a
Chump
sermon.
has his own by now, doesn't he?
Really? You want to share a bubble with
I
Chum?
do. No, wait, isn't that level 9? I'm
It's
level
level
8.
9. It's level 9 for that.
I will.
Yeah.
I will look at Roherthan and say, you and Champ.
Not
Interesting.
like that. Not like that.
No, like with drawings and puppies.
Well, I mean, we
done
were
puppies.
practicing, and
Puppies.
Well, I mean, a few
Ooh,
illusions
We were-
to illustrate wouldn't be too
yeah.
bad.
Illusions. Well, yeah, illusions could help actually.
we could have the soldiers as well to join, and
See, now you're just going way overboard.
Just
I
a
look
whole
at Champ and
sermon
kinda-
on the ship, like
I do a minor
to
illusion
blur
of
everyone.
him naked, of what I saw of him naked, a small version of him like standing there.
Hey, I'm bigger than that.
You hear the clanking of your faithful clockwork gnomes as they gather in a formation in waiting for orders.
Lift off, my faithful. Do we have a name for the clockwork gnomes other than clockwork gnomes?
As
I
they're
call
not
them
ours.
What did you say, Gothar?
They're not ours to give names to.
True.
the unpuntables.
Unpuntables. Lift
As
off.
usual, Quilena, when we go to flight, just does it bubble.
Good.
Because that's...
Yeah.
And she will put it again in the middle of the ship, so...
Making it awkward as fuck for everyone to get past.
Kind of rocky start, by the way.
Technically, if you've ever had a good look at the clockwork gnomes and their
Quilena did.
like plating,
She even tried to disassemble.
they all do have like the brand name, like stamped on them.
Toshiba.
Hyundai.
Tower of Tinkery,
Made in
Clockwork
China.
Automaton, Model 800,
I
I
meant
tried
more
to
like
actually
individual
dismantle
names.
one.
or
But
T800, or T800 for short.
T800.
I actually tried to dismantle one, but they started repairing each other, so...
That one.
No, I kind of like Autobots.
That's trademark.
something about it.
We can't use that.
No.
We have how many soldiers on board?
What's robots? What?
24.
24.
There's Harem with us.
Yeah,
Or did he stay?
Harren is with you as well. So that makes
29.
25.
And Crandall.
I'm not feeding them.
Here's the thing. How many of them would want to stay to man the ballista? Ballistae, actually.
As many as you need.
There were 6 ballistae, and
24.
no, I'm more thinking if because we have other tasks not attended to on the ship as well,
Um,
and
Good
we would need to
suggestion.
give them a crash course on shooting and aiming.
little suggestion, though. I mean, just inspired from previous times, and I know that Roherthan really liked our knocking on the door in Shilmista. Maybe we should get some rocks.
Maybe we should repair the ship.
Shump
Well, you have
as-
24 people.
And Shump, by taking command of the ship and piloting it expertly into the air, almost takes care of the stone problem, as he skims the edge of the keep, or the top of the keep, just barely missing the battlements. Mostly thanks to the clockwork gnomes being underneath already, pulling the landing skids up. Not that you ever needed the landing skids to land, but they still put them down.
Just out of routine.
Yeah. They don't know any better. They don't have an if statement in their coding to keep them from putting the landing skids down.
Well,
So,
On our
You're-
travel for boulder fields, probably.
But that does mean that we can now run the ship more efficiently.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Can we?
You can.
Yeah.
You have
Fully
a full
current.
battery of ballistas.
Not only that, but we had only 6 clockwork gnomes,
Yep.
and there's 6 supposedly to drive the propeller,
Mm-hmm.
which we haven't been at full capacity.
Yeah.
So we could keep the gnomes on the propeller and landing gear. Automatic tasks, essentially. And direct the Mintar troops in other usages on the ship that need to
Mm-hmm.
manned.
So, Rahurdan, you want to go up in the crow's nest with that fancy lookout of yours?
His spyglass.
Look, I just look up, look at you, look up.
Yeah.
You'll have to
you can-
climb on the outside of
Yeah,
the
you-
balloon with the
you-
ropes.
Yeah, you can see
Grab
that
the
the
nearest Mintar troop, hand him a spyglass, and go, ass up there, go.
So you can see the netting of ropes leads up to the balloon and then follows the outside curve of the balloon. So there's a section where you're essentially dangling like off the ropes by just your arms before you get a foothold again. Let's see. I have an NPC sheet somewhere for the guards. There it is. He needs to make a strength check, I believe, of a DC 10, if I remember right. You have the thing open, right, Chris?
I'm trying to figure out where
Probably on a balloon.
the balloon. There's a airship. DC 10, strength or dex, athletics or acrobatics. That is.
Yep.
And if the check fails by 5 or more, he's falling.
Yeah. Let's go. That's a 13. He succeeds.
Yay.
You can see that he's shaking because the whole netting leading up to the balloon shakes as he climbs. And he gets up there safely and then like gets to the worst bit beneath the balloon and then gets up on top.
Excellent. Now,
You see next to the furnace, there is this small copper pipe that descends from the balloon next to the like smokestacks leading up, and then it expands at the bottom and turns out into like one of those speaking horns, and you hear a voice call out, "Hello, I found this thing from here. Does this help? Can I talk to you? Can you hear me?"
I will just mute my bubble.
It works, yes. We can hear you.
You're a little crackly on your end.
Yeah, I know. The gnomes are still fixing that. Does it work now?
That's much better, yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Do your job.
now, guards and senior guard. Whom among you might have any ballista training?
Or
Yeah.
crossbow.
You see one of them raise his hand, and two other guards look at him and just like nudge him on the on the side, and he quickly lowers his hand back down.
No one really. It's just a giant crossbow.
We got training in crossbows,
It's
but
basically
not,
just a giant
not
one.
ballistas.
Same principle.
I need 2 people.
You're muted.
I'm muted. No, I'm not.
No, you
No,
muted your bubble.
is.
Ah, yes. No, but she will get up. and she will unmute it, and she
Okay.
will say, "I need 2 people to get me some riggings in order to fix the balloon." And I will just look at the rest, waiting for 2 people.
Okay. So that thing happens where you don't specify who's doing it, so everyone's just standing there.
I'll look at them blinking a few times and then say, "Well,
Kothar, like, first 2 that volunteers gets to enter the bubble with her. I can assure you it's nice and comfy in there.
They all turn to look at Quilena, and then look at each other. You hear this whisper going through. Is she the one that the guards in Nightstone were talking about? The one with the weird shit?
in the meantime, I will kind of range my pointy hat. You can see kind of adjusting the hat.
The question is, how is she dressed?
Common clothes.
Weren't you wearing blue robes?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Custom made blue robe.
Now the real question is, you know who made those robes?
Yep.
How well are they showing off the assets? I mean, it's a Sunite that made it, so
She's not a shy person, so
well, I'm just saying that might help convince some of them.
It looks more like a cocktail dress than an actual robe.
You can hear like a couple of the whispers change from wondering about if this is the one they've heard about into, well, I mean, I guess suppose. And then like 2 guys from the group of guards depart beneath decks.
they don't know what they signed up to.
And Kothar will go over to Quilana once they have gone down. It's like, hey, Quilana, those 2 wanted to see your button collection. They've admired it for long.
I will just kind of do a mage hand and slap the air just to be in before him and say, "No one looks at my button collection."
It's such a pity to have such a marvelous collection and no one to show it off to.
If you touch it, you will explode. I warn you.
I'm so glad that Quilana doesn't have Big B's hand.
Not yet.
Just replace Mage Hand with Big B's hand.
Go away. My buttons.
Good.
But
Good.
they might be of contribution to my collection.
Oh, that too. Those were some
Yeah.
nice soldier outfit buttons.
It looks very well polished.
I mean, I don't need the same one, so it could be one from the top, one from the lower part.
Sure.
One from the boots.
So
Do boots have
You're-
buttons?
They may have.
you are all on the way south, Mintar.
I would
And-
just use a fabricate with this
Yes.
with the materials.
You may fix up your airship.
And I will also tell them to keep fixing while I rest and do my beauty sleep.
Yep.
Is it a full rest?
There we go.
Just
Yes.
4 points added.
Or do you?
I
still
think so.
have-
Yeah, you'll get a long rest.
Okay.
You leveled up after Shilmista, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, between
think so.
Shilmista and the
We are level 8.
Terror Thinker area.
Yep.
Yes.
You may level up
Ooh.
once more,
Shump gets his bubble.
and
For private purposes.
sure, at least you won't be bothered anymore by these
Exactly.
strangers. So that's the end of the session for today. Hope
Was
you all
very
had fun.
I did.
Yes.
It was interesting.
I need to check my level up stuff.
Well, at least now we know that your line will not end with you.
Yes. Well, maybe.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, who knows?
Is that a constitution check?
Speaking of con, I need to make a 1d10 plus 3. Wow.
Oh,
I
right.
think that's
control.
actually the worst health roll I've rolled.
Hmm.
Soon you will see the worst roll.
Yeah, just wait for this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
5.
That was
Come on.
5.
That's the highest I rolled up until now.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Kotar's
Three.
got the bad luck instead now.
So I finally moved beyond the 20s. I'm at 33.
I'm at 77. Woohoo!
Slight
You know that
difference.
spell you were just talking about?
Which one?
Big B's hand.
Big
Okay.
piece. Guess who now has it?
I'm thinking of. Well, I mean, I'm going mostly utility with my spells. So I have a slight trying to think with which one, whether I want to use Jolt and Mislead or Rory's Telepathic Bond and Mislead.
Oh, I've got 3rd level spells now.
Both spells can be useful.
Well, yeah, while certainly undeniably potentially useful, the telepathic bond is... I don't know.
I mean, it is not limited by distance and it's a whole hour.
Yeah, but ideally we don't want to split the party in a city.
I'm not talking
We'll see
specifically
about
about
that.
city.
And ideally
Okay.
you don't split the party.
Not like
I
you've
know.
already done that once. This
Like you
campaign.
haven't been doing that for the last 6 sessions. Okay. Closing off the stream, so say your
Okay.
goodbyes.
Bye-bye!
Bye, somebody.
Goodbye, stream.
Big B's bye-bye.
Okay. Good. Thanks everyone for being here. It was another great session. Back on Monday. See you then.